I swear to God, I'm not lying. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am so mad at you.
Already?
Good morning to you, too. Hey, Paul, how the hell are you?
I'm great. I'm pissed at you, Danny.
What did I do? All right, let's go back
I'm sure
to
you're
Sarah.
lying, though.
Yeah, let's start this. Hi, what's up,
Your
Wyatt?
shoes are so cool, and I want them really bad.
They are pretty awesome. It is
Thanks.
hard not to cover
Take a look
those
at them,
shoes.
you guys. They're amazing.
Well, you can see it at
lot of
Danny
people
TV.
can
You
see
can
you.
KZOK.com. Yeah.
You can see my shoes?
Go live to Facebook right now. Tori, are the shoes visible on camera?
I can try to capture them.
All right, maybe not.
They're under the counter. I can show them if you want. If you want to show the shoes that people hate, I guess.
They are so cool. Danny is wearing new Doc Martens that have animal like zebra print on them.
I killed the zebra myself.
Did you now?
Just like the lion, I am not. So here's the deal on why I'm not. First of all, good morning, kids.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all good?
Yeah.
Cool. Y'all sound good. I want you to know that.
Oh, thanks.
All right, then. So I get in my car this morning, and I'm literally, I figuratively have a heart attack. You know how there's car prowls in my neighborhood pretty
Yeah.
bad?
Oh, yeah.
You've been hit a few times.
Son of a bitch is in my car.
Oh, my gosh, Danny.
Oh,
Except he's not.
Oh.
I didn't expect that big of a reaction, so no, there was no actual guy in my car. What there was? Oh, wait, which do you like better? There's a guy in my car. He's so scary. I've had him in there before. I never saw him before. Saw him this time. Boom, there's my story. Or I get in my car. There's a full-size grown-ass lion in the back seat. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
It's just as weird, maybe more.
Do you get it?
Yeah, it was the stuffed lion that you got for your birthday, right?
Dude, it's huge. A huge stuffed lion that I didn't know was there. I knew it was there because I put it in the back of my car after my birthday party.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you to whoever gave it to me. He scared the bejesus out of me, and I need all the bejesus I can get. So I guess it was in Amy's way or something. She moved it from the very, very back where you do your groceries and stuff like that in our
Yeah.
Jeep to the back seat, but then its head was leaning between the two front seats, and it's as big as a lion. If it was alive, well, that'd be weird. But also, if it was alive, it would weigh 400 pounds or whatever that size. It's big.
She clearly did that on purpose to mess with you.
Clearly. And she knows I get afraid of that stuff. Do you know what Slam Man is?
No.
Slam Man is a full size from the ground up, not hanging punching bag, heavyweight punching bag. You hit it and it hurts your wrist
Oh, okay.
so hard. It's shaped like a person.
Yeah.
Head, nose, eyes, chin, rib cage, nipples. I hit him in the nipples all the time. For 2 years in New York City, it scared me. I'd walk in the store and go, oh God, Slam Man. And I'd go about my business and I'd think, well, tomorrow it won't scare me. I know it's Slam Man.
It was in your own house?
Yeah, at the bottom of my stairs. I'd walk downstairs towards the front door and I'd turn a little bit and go, oh, Slam Man. And this went on literally for 2 years because they're like $199. I'm not going to throw it out. But it scared me forever. Now make that, because it only looks like half a human being.
Yeah.
It goes to like the belly button.
Right.
And that's it. This lion went all the way to the tip of a lion's tail and was horrifyingly frightening.
Very realistic.
Very, very realistic.
I saw it.
By the way, so you know what I like? This is our listeners. Somebody gave me a used stuffed lion. There's goo on that lion that I didn't put there. Little goo.
Oh, wow.
Well, my daughter was sleeping with this. My son was sleeping with this. I was sleeping with this. Whatever it is. There's some goo on my lion. But I totally like my lion. Amy said, oh, don't worry. I'll take it to the good one. Not a chance in the world. I want to have it dry cleaned, deloused, and then I want to sleep on it as a giant pillow. And then he gets the head on it in the back.
It's possible it wasn't used, that it got the goo from your actual birthday party. There were a lot of people at that party.
I'm okay. I'm of the opinion it was used because it also has some bends and dents and stuff like if you slept on it for a while as a pillow or hugged it or spooned it or any of those things you might want to do, which I totally want to do.
Yeah.
You would put these certain dents and creases in it. They are there along with the goo. The evidence multiplies about this being a stuffed
Do
lion.
we know why that was gifted to you?
I'm a Leo,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
and it was on August.
And I think that person was a Leo as well. And that
Yeah.
was the,
Yeah.
Leo the lion user-upper.
And then she analyzed me for being a Sagittarius. Does that mean I'm getting that weird half man, half horse thing when it's my birthday?
Who's she?
The gift giver was a woman.
I thought it was a guy. I'm sure it was a guy. Didn't you think
Maybe
it was
they
a
were
guy?
together.
I didn't see who gave you
Oh,
the
yeah,
line.
I thought it was a guy. Some guy took credit for it.
Huh. No, I thought
Maybe
it was,
married couple?
It might have been a married
Maybe
couple.
a married couple. Maybe some of our listeners, I'm not saying anything, lie.
That's certainly possible.
It's a distinct possibility. But anyway, so there was a line in my car this morning and I flipped out. Let's see what I went to. Oh, I told throughout the day, one or both of us will make little notes about anything interesting that happens. And I can tell you guys when I get here in the morning.
Right.
And I told her not to write something down because I would get distracted. And she did. It says it right here, church. So Amy and I went to a new church, which we really like, by the way. We'll go back, give them another shot, and see if that's going to be our local church and be bitching. We go a lot and so far haven't really picked our local, this is the one we go to on Sundays kind of thing. And this one was really close. It was really good, straightforward. Here's the word. Here's what's up. And then kind of a lot of be nice going on there. Don't
that's
do anything
nice.
weird. Yeah, it is nice. And if you could pull it off, you can do it because it's a big thing. I get mad about stuff and I say and do things I don't mean. And that may have happened immediately after church.
So the message didn't sink in right away.
Well, no. But if I'd have had a second to react, I'm sure I wouldn't have called her those names.
Oh.
Yeah, God. So I went to somewhere for lunch right after church in Green Lake. And I parallel park. And this little car pulls up behind me, and they're going to parallel park. And they're having a really, really hard time doing it. Now, what I wish to convey is, hey, give me a second. You can have my spot. The engine's running. I'm listening to the Beatles channel or some such thing. You can have my spot. I don't know what those arm gestures say. It's kind of like I'm waving her forward and stopping her, then pointing to myself and pointing out. I don't know what she gets and what she doesn't get, but she doesn't move. So I leaned my head out the window and I said, hey, if you give me a second, you can have this spot. It fits a Jeep. You'll be really happy. Silence. All of a sudden I hear, well, if you'd get the hell out of her way, she'd take your spot. So I yell, there's no effing room before I even, she's wedged me in. And then it turns out I look over, it's a girl, a completely normal looking girl.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm just trying to do a good deed here. And she goes, well, you're failing.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, I'm trying to get out of here and give her the spot, but I don't have enough room. She goes, I can see from here that you have plenty of room. And I said, really? From there, can you also see you're an ugly cow?
Oh.
And I sped off. And then I went, oh my God, what have I done? And Amy said, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That's
And the
what-
fact that you sped off means you had the room to do so, right?
Yeah, no, she was right. Everybody was right. Everybody was wrong in the sense that I tried to do something nice. Nobody helped me. But, oh no, there'd been some finagling. She was right or wrong. That was up to her perception. I can't see
Okay.
the car the same way she can. She's on the other side of the street sitting in her car and looking at my spot. If she sees daylight where I don't from inside, so be it. So I yell, oh, I can't believe I yelled at a girl. I mean, remember that guy I yelled at out here and I called him an effer and he called me an effer and then life was good and we made out a little bit and we went our ways? There was no making up. Like those, I think ugly and cow are two, like the top 5 things to not say to a girl.
Yeah.
So I can't take it. And I say, I'm going to go back.
Oh,
and
no.
apologize.
No.
And Amy says, don't go back.
No.
She's seen it. And if you pull up next to her, she's just going to call the police.
Yeah.
You said really bad stuff, Danny. And Amy's mad at me. Which, why aren't you mad at that girl? Everybody should be mad at that girl. So I go around and it takes 5 or 10 minutes to go all around these wacky terms they have in Green Lake. And there she sits right there. And I was 50-50 hoping she'd be gone. And so I pull up
We're
next to her.
hoping she's gone
Yeah,
at
I
this
pull up
point.
next to her. Well said. I pull up next to her. I roll down my window and I say, hey, I just really wanted to come back here and apologize. And she says, okay. Well, that was my apology. So I said, okay, so just so you know, I really am sorry I spoke to you in that way that was uncalled for, and I am really, truly sorry. And she goes, all right, you can go. How is she not dead?
News is brought to you by Johnson RV. Police are searching for a gunman who shot 2 people in Seattle's University District over the weekend. This happened at 10:30 at night at a house party on 20th Avenue Northeast and Northeast 52nd Street. Police say that a man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Another man also injured and was taken to the hospital, condition unknown. The gang unit is now investigating, and they're interviewing witnesses to try to figure out what happened.
My goodness. But at the end of the day, no matter what witnesses say, people got shot in the university district. That's terrible.
Right-wing demonstrators gathered over the weekend here in Seattle for a Liberty or Death rally that drew counter-protesters from the left while dozens of police tried to keep the two sides separate.
Are the Liberty or Death guys the good guys or the bad guys? Because our founding fathers said liberty or death. Thomas Paine, I believe, but I could be wrong about that.
Let's see. Well, the protest was what our right-wing groups called the Washington Three Percenters, and then the Patriot Prayer. They were holding a rally outside City Hall to protest an effort to launch gun control initiatives. And then the protesters on the other side, those are the ones that were separated by police. Those left-wing protesters were yelling and using cowbells and sirens to drown out speeches from the right.
So whether who's the good guys or the bad guys, I guess it just depends on how you feel politically.
I guess so. I wonder which ones, if you go far enough up the family tree, do you get to the Nazis was my thing.
The Liberty or Death.
The Liberty or
side.
Death guys?
But, yeah.
Well, then that was easy to find out who the bad guys are, the guys that lead to Nazis.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Air quality has tipped back to an unhealthy range.
No kidding. Can you see it all from your balcony?
So yesterday I was out on a friend's boat, and it started just kind of hazy. And then as the hours went on, all of a sudden Seattle disappeared, and you could see by like 15-minute increments the smoke come in to the point where you could barely see in front of your face anymore.
Wow.
Super creepy.
That is super creepy.
Yeah.
It looked like really bad smog to those of us that lived a long time in Los Angeles, where you can really see it. But I think it's Kenmore Air lands fairly close to my house, and I can see it. And they would kind of vanish for a second or two.
Yep.
It was really scary.
It did get to the point last night where it was impacting SeaTac, that a couple of flights had to be delayed, pretty significant delays because of poor visibility. They weren't able to land properly. So this morning, the conditions are still really bad. Like I look to the left right now and I can see a little bit of the Space Needle. It's kind of covered in haze.
Yeah.
And it's early, so they think it's only going to get worse.
And it's different between smog and fog and and smoke because, the few times a year I can't see the Space Needle from my house and it's right outside my window. There it is.
Yeah.
But the fog comes and you can't even see the stand that it's on or whatever that thing is called. It just vanishes. If it does this and smoke, aren't we all going to end up at the hospital?
Very possibly. So they are recommending, first of all, if you're flying this morning out of SeaTac, to check ahead with your carrier. Second of all, if you have air conditioning, it's advised to put it on a recycle so that it's the air in your house getting recycled as opposed to pulling it in from outside. Don't exercise outdoors. Don't overexert yourself outdoors.
Count on it.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, done.
And drink lots of water, right? You're supposed to even more so stay hydrated because it needs to replenish things in your body with all these toxins you're getting.
Sure. Yeah. I was thinking about, getting a little exercise outdoors today, and you can feel it. Like yesterday, I could absolutely feel it in my throat and my lungs, and it's not pleasant. So check on your neighbors, Danny.
Not again with these guys.
In national and international news, Kofi Annan, the charismatic global diplomat and first Black African to become the United Nations Security General, died over the weekend at the age of 80. This was an announcement from the president of Ghana, which is where he was born. They say he died peacefully in his sleep.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was 10, 15 years or whatever it was. He was a real powerful guy and never wielded it too harshly. Was always pretty even-handed.
Well, Rudy Giuliani is now, former mayor of New York City, now Donald Trump's personal lawyer. And yesterday he sat down with Meet the Press.
Of course he did.
And said there is a reason that Donald Trump hasn't sat down yet for an interview with Robert Mueller.
I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury. And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation.
Truth is truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth. The President of the United States says, I didn't...
Truth isn't truth. Mr. Mayor, do you realize what...
No.
This is going to become a bad
don't do this to me.
Don't do truth isn't truth to me.
Truth isn't truth.
I agree with him completely.
Really?
You ever been cross-examined?
I have not.
Okay,
no.
truth doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Do you understand why nobody ever, innocent or not, because not everybody's OJ, a lot of people really are innocent, nobody takes the stand. Nobody ever takes a stand in their own defense, and I don't mean literally nobody, but 90% of people, and you're told by your no, shut up, and you're not taking this. But I didn't do it. I don't care. That's a conversation I've had 50 times. Well, I'm 50 strong, but several times with a high-paid lawyer, and I'm trying not to go to jail here. If you want to not go to jail, shut up and don't take the stand.
On its face, it seems pretty wrong that truth isn't truth.
It does. It seems that wrong when I couldn't tell mine, but I couldn't.
2 major earthquakes struck the Pacific yesterday, an 8.2 magnitude about 200 miles away from Fiji, and then a 6.3 magnitude in Indonesia's Lombok Island. Now, the good news is there were no tsunami threats. Of course, the concern was that Hawaii could get hit from this tsunami. Minor damage being reported throughout Fiji, but no tsunamis. Hawaii is not completely out of harm because a hurricane is headed their way. But no tsunami was the good news.
Yeah, and although they say not that much damage from the earthquake, a couple of roads split like the movies. Not gigantic like the movies, but the one side of the street went up about 9 inches and one other side of the street went down, and then they separated by almost a foot. So when you look at it, you go, oh my God. But then you see people just walking over it like it's not.
Bombay Sapphire has teamed up with a hospitality firm called Inception Group to offer what might be the perfect job for anyone who enjoys drinking gin and tonics. Pretty much everybody. This is something created to mark a new bar inspired by Phileas Fogg's legendary trip around the world in 80 days. So they are asking for people to apply for this job. And from August to November, you will travel all over the world, Mumbai, Hong Kong, New York, San Francisco, Lisbon, to drink gin and tonics and chronicle your journey on social media.
Very nice, very nice. And you go with what's his name?
Phineas Fogg.
Phineas Fogg. I like him.
Phileas Fogg, actually.
Phileas?
Phileas. I thought it was Phineas.
I thought it was Phineas.
Yeah, maybe it's a typo.
Huh, that's super weird.
I thought it was Phineas Fogg. That's a weird name either way.
I've seen 9 versions of that movie, and the one with Jackie Chan is just terrible. In case you're wondering, we're going to go out and rent it.
I did not know.
He doesn't play Phineas. Steve Kuntz, the English actor we all know. I might be getting his name wrong. He plays Phineas, and Jackie Chan plays his assistant or some such racist thing, and he makes it around the world. Oh, spoiler alert.
It looks like it is Phileas Fogg.
Phileas Fogg. Where do we get
so
Phineas
weird.
from?
Phineas sounds more
Phineas
correct.
sounds totally right.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to apply for this job, you have about 2 more weeks to do so. I do not have a salary, but you will be paid. Your travel expenses and all your drinks will be paid for. So
Over the last year or so, haven't we announced a great job as a candy taster, a beer drinker, a spaghetti eater, a butt waxer? I don't know
We
about that
did.
one.
I didn't get any of them.
But don't they do this to the point where I don't completely 100% believe them anymore?
Oh, you don't think the job exists? It's
I
just
think
a
the
PR
job
move?
kind of, but it's a PR move. I think give it a month or two and you're going to fade off the radar. Maybe they'll pay you off. But it's just this many. Somebody went, oh, Budweiser's letting them taste beer. We should let them taste chocolate, and that's what they do.
A lot of times they even announce in the beginning that it's a short term. You're doing it for the summer. You're doing it for a few months.
This is a short term.
Yeah.
You can only drink so many gin and tonics and Chronicle. I don't know how many different.
Not me.
Yeah, I guess they have to cut you off at some point.
Yeah.
If you want to win that trip for 2 to Vegas, just text that word right now to 200-200 for your chance to win.
Abraham Lincoln's iconic stovepipe hat is among items that may be auctioned off to meet a dire debt payment deadline. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum Foundation is short about $10 million, and they have now approved the search for an auctioneer to sell the hat and some other items like the blood-stained gloves he wore the night he was assassinated.
Wow.
God.
Well, you could get his pen that was on his desk. There's some Lincoln White House china. There's several items, but they're really a little upset about the stovepipe hat.
But they have to sell to get the $10 million?
Yep.
And how'd they get that far in arrears?
They said that the debt has risen to about $10 million on the refinance of a loan, and that they started a GoFundMe account, which has only reached a couple $1,000. So something went wrong with the loan for the presidential library.
I don't know what I would do with Abe Lincoln's hat, to be honest.
Wear it.
Because you have to be
totally wear it.
Yeah, but now I own it. What am I going to do after I wear it to the office and show off? I'm going to put it
Yeah.
on my counter. I'm going to put on a hook in the hallway. That's valuable in the sense of historically speaking.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and if you've got the money to bid on the hat, then why not help out the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum Foundation?
Oh, just donate?
Yeah.
No, I want
No,
the hat.
I want the hat. And I want the bloodstained gloves, too.
I don't want the hat, but if I had the money, then I want the hat instead of
Yeah.
just giving it to him.
Well, you could say own it, but it's on display at the museum.
Oh,
Is
that's
that
what you
something
do
to
then.
'Cause they
After
do
you
that.
wear it around.
Yeah, after you wear it around, after you go to the office.
Totally.
After everybody thinks I must be at least 5'10" in that hat.
And the museum probably is not going to love our idea that you're just wearing it around.
Yeah. People say aged cheeses are the best, but I'm not so sure about this one that has just been found by archaeologists at the tomb of Ptolemy's. This is cheese from the 13th century BC.
Wow, that's old.
Yeah.
That's
That
as
is-
old as stuff gets, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd sample that
Oh, first thing.
Oh, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
while you're wearing your Abraham Lincoln hat.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to be gauche, but all right.
Preferably if they could serve it in the hat.
Yeah, serve me a bowl of cheese in my hat.
Yeah, they do believe that this is the oldest cheese ever
Was it
discovered.
always cheese?
Oh, I see what your point is.
So it could have been the oldest milk.
It could have been the oldest guy. They
Oh.
melt.
Well,
Look at that, it's cheese. No, it's a spleen.
they do believe it had so like think about when cheese is like old and being aged. It's a circle, right? It's a disc, and then they cover it on it. So it's not intact, but they think all those different components are there indicating it was cheese and not a bowl of milk.
All right. And this is the Ptolemies?
This is Ptolemy's.
Oh,
Ptahmes.
I don't think I know them.
Thomas. Kind of is how I guess you would say it because the P is silent.
I wouldn't say it. Why make a peace silent? What's wrong with you? We're the most advanced civilization on Earth at the time, and they got a whole letter they're not using?
I
Well,
don't.
it's spelled part, but
Yeah.
you say it art. Well, that's confusing there,
Like Ptolemy,
Tutankhamun.
but you don't pronounce the P in Ptolemy.
Right.
It's just Ptolemy.
Right.
Well, then why put the P there? I'm with you.
Exactly. Glad we worked this out.
A Scottish man mysteriously disappeared, leaving his wife and family terrified, sparking a widespread manhunt. It has now been solved, but it is not a happy ending.
Uh-oh.
This dude, Malcolm McGregor, told his family, oh, yeah, I'm going to go visit cousin Becky, just a couple miles away. And he kisses his wife, his childhood sweetheart, goodbye, says goodbye to the kids, never returns. So as I said, this massive manhunt underway. This Malcolm dude is missing,
Yeah, he fell in a hole or something.
right?
I was thinking that a bog.
Yeah.
Well, Paul's a little closer
Really.
in a way.
Ooh, let's play Guess the News.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Facebook has now gotten to the bottom of the mystery. He went to Utah from Scotland, flew to Utah.
Are you saying Utah's one big hole?
He married someone else.
Well,
Well, they do that in Utah.
He just pieced out, flew here, apparently had been talking with somebody online and married her. And they're not really sure what happened. Turns out that the couple, childhood sweethearts, never got legally married, but they'd been together for, 20 years. He just walked out of the house one day, flew to Utah, and married somebody else.
Wow. I would say that's wild, but, people do stuff like that. Marry strangers, not usually in Utah. So he necessarily has not broken any laws.
No, just the law of good etiquette. You got to say goodbye to your baby mama.
What?
You
And
said
I say
goodbye.
this from experience. What if you're afraid? What if you're going to write her a I'm sorry letter when you get out of her reach?
Okay, I can see that, but he didn't write
Dear
her a
Becky,
letter.
I'm totally sorry I did this. I've always loved you, but we got older and things are weird. And hey, there's this chick in Utah, and I got to go, but you're the bestest. Bye. There. You're
The
all
end.
good. The end.
A 24-year-old American man has been arrested after winking on another passenger during a trans-Pacific flight.
Wow. Well, next time a guy gets up and says, I have to go to the bathroom, don't tell him he must sit down fast as well.
I've been in the window seat before, which I hate doing, especially if it's a 3Z and not a 2Z. You got to wake up two people or disturb two people. But I don't know if this man was sleeping, like Ambien walking,
Yeah.
sleepwalking kind of thing. But
But
this
if
was
you're in your chair buckled in or not buckled in for that matter, and you're asleep and you winky on the guy. Now, you got powerful jets. I don't have jets like that.
I was thinking more when you guys are drunk or on an Ambien and you wake up and you think you're going to the restroom.
Yeah. That absolutely happens.
But this dude was on a flight from Chicago to Japan and winkied on a dude and has been arrested. They say he did have 4 glasses of champagne and 1 cup of sake. And
Shouldn't be enough.
No.
And the glasses they give you on airlines, they're 2 sips.
Yeah.
Basically.
They said the men did not know each other.
Well, they do now.
They're very close
I think
now.
in dog world they're married.
I'd be pretty mad.
I'd be pretty mad.
The other thing that I found a little crazy about this is the flight continued. So I wonder where exactly it happened, because this poor dude who got winkied on, did they give him those pajamas that first class has? Like, that dude had winky all over him.
If they have the pajamas, I would imagine that's the least thing they give that guy.
Yeah. All Nippon Airways, ANA, fantastic airline, and they do give you really nice pajamas.
Yeah. I would think they give him those right away.
I'd hope they move that guy to first class if they've got an empty seat.
Good point.
Yeah, good point. Hey, you guys, I know you paid thousands of dollars more, and this guy kind of stinks, but he's going to come up and join your party.
And a young Irish man has been hospitalized following an incident that saw him hit by a falling sheep while walking through the mountains.
Who gets hit by a fallen sheep?
I was about to ask you a question. I realized it's a stupid question to ask you. I'll ask it anybody else listening. Have you ever been out for a hike in the mountains and you see a sheep or a mountain goat, mountain lion? No, a mountain goat.
Mountain goat, yeah. But normally they're not falling out of the sky.
No,
Right.
but they're like walking precariously on the mountain.
I can't tell if I get to answer because this question was to anybody but me.
Well,
if you go
I
hiking,
know your answer is no.
No, if you go hiking in Palm Springs, that's all you see.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mountain rams. The statue of those rams are at the airport. They're their official animals. So I've seen it dozens of times.
Well,
So
and-
be careful who you exclude, sister.
well, I know you don't like going hiking.
Not if it's difficult, no.
Yeah. So you often see them and you think that's a precarious place to be out for a walk with little hooves. Turns out occasionally they do fall. So this dude fell from this sheep fell from a mountain and landed on this poor dude out for a hike. Thankfully, he had his phone and was able to call for help. They had to stretcher him out.
Yeah,
Sheep attack.
Those things are not small.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are mountain sheeps. I may not have seen those, but the mountain rams that are all over the Palm Springs mountains, they're huge. They'd really hurt you.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to think about flu season considering it is August 20th, but flu season, they're advising people to get their shots early.
Huh? Do you do that?
I do.
Why are you always sick?
You know, I had a chest cold for the past 2 weeks. But
And 6 months before that, and 6 months before that, you're sick too often because you appear to be healthy. You run every day.
yeah,
You eat right.
the average American gets sick 4 times a year. So I'm under average. I get sick
I
twice
guess,
a year.
yeah. How about you, Paul? Do you get sick 4 times a year?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Oh,
a
yeah,
year,
you do.
for
Most
sure.
certainly do. I
It's my
can't keep
kid,
track because when
I
I'm sick,
promise.
I want to cry and everything. Do I get sick 4 times a year?
Yeah, probably
about that.
probably 2
Oh,
or 3.
Okay. Back to you then.
Well, flu season's right around the corner, and drugstores already have the flu shots. In fact, Rite Aid is offering free scoops of ice cream with every flu shot you get.
Oh, that's great.
So you go get your flu shot and you get ice cream.
That's cute. I like that.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay.
A Florida man took matters into his own hand while seated inside a Panera Bread inside of a Pensacola mall.
Surprisingly good, that Panera Bread.
And what happened in this Panera Bread was not good. A man went inside, ordered some food, and then proceeded to multitask. He sat down and was taking care of Mr. Happy.
Well, that stuff's good, but it's not that good. I could get through a bowl of soup without doing that.
He told police he was just eating, and they did not believe him because he had something just out at the table with him.
He didn't put it away when the cops
Nope.
came? Well, then I think he's busted.
Yeah.
That'd be my thought on this.
Oh, Florida.
Oh,
Florida.
News this morning brought to you by Johnson RV. When we come back with music news, a big announcement from Eric Clapton. Plus, you won't believe who showed up on stage at a Pearl Jam show. I'll give you a hint. There is a connection to North Korea.
Well, that's
All
very
right.
weird.
All right. I got a good guess.
Big local sports weekend. We have got all the latest. Plus, you can win Mariners tickets next. Fourth studio album, Eric Clapton is trying something completely different. A Christmas album.
Neat.
Happy Xmas will come out on October 12th. It contains an original track called For Love on Christmas Day. He then puts in Jingle Bells, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and just some of the regular
Classics.
ones.
Yeah, it seems like an odd choice, really. He's known as being a guitar player of the greatest ilk, but he's not known as being a great singer. And that's
No.
kind of like, watch. This is Bing Crosby singing right now. One of the all-time great voices. That's who usually does Christmas albums. But I will buy anything by Eric Clapton.
He has a song dedicated to Avicii, the Swedish DJ who died earlier this year. Didn't know they were friends, but apparently they were. And he said he wanted to try to do holiday songs with a slight blues tinge.
Neat.
Yeah,
well,
I'm super
yeah,
curious.
there you go. If you get down to that kind of stuff, I approve.
Eddie Vedder, we know, has deep roots in Seattle. Pearl Jam, deep roots in Seattle. But Eddie is also a Chicagoan at heart, a diehard Cubs fan, a Bulls fan. So the next story, very weird, but might make a little bit of sense to some.
All right.
Eddie Vedder performing at Wrigley Field, doing a little bit of his ukulele. Who do you think takes the stage with him?
I have two guesses. How about you?
I just have one.
Do you have one? On three, you want to go with it?
Yeah.
Both names or one name?
One name.
Oh, all right. You go first then, because I have two
What
names.
happened to 1, 2, 3?
Because I have two names.
Okay, both names. It's just two names of the same person? Is that what you're saying?
I'm
First
saying
and
it's-
last name.
I'm saying it's Dennis Rodman.
Okay, Dennis Rodman. That was my
Okay,
guess
ready?
as well.
How can that only be
1, 2,
one name?
3.
I was going to say
Dennis
Rodman.
Rodman.
Also, were you naming two different people or two names of the same person?
No, the other guy is Cy. One name.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dennis Rodman.
He didn't play for the Bulls or the Cubs,
No, but she said a deep interest in North Korea.
Yeah, right.
So I went Rodman.
Yeah, he went up on stage and said something along the lines of, there are two groups of people that have always supported me, North Korea and Chicago.
Wow. Did the people go crazy? Because people in Chicago are real nice, but they'll get physically upset about it. So they're not like Philly, like they get physically upset first.
Yeah.
You can make a Chicago guy mad and he'll say, hey, why don't you cut it out? And he won't call you use or nothing like that. But if you make a guy from Chicago or a group of guys from Chicago mad enough, they'll punch you in the face.
He played for the Bulls so long, I think they count him as one of theirs, and like they appreciate how crazy he is.
When you compare Chicago to North Korea, I don't know what kind of welcome you're in for, but let's find out. Back to you in the studio, Sarah.
Well, that's all we know. And, people did seem to cheer, but people were just excited to be at Pearl Jam. They played another song, the encore track, Sleeping by Myself, and then the show wrapped up. Just super weird.
Super weird. Super
and he just
weird.
came on stage. He didn't sing or anything, right?
No. I don't think
I
that's
don't even
something
believe
he
they'd
can
let
do.
him do that. It's shocking.
Director Peter Berg has revealed his long-awaited documentary tracking Rihanna's rise to fame could be in cinemas in about a month and a half. Now, we reported plans for this documentary about 3 years ago, and he says, Peter Berg, that he believes that this is going to be coming out shortly. She is an extraordinary young woman. It's a comprehensive profile of what goes into making her this talent that she is. He said she's a really, really, really interesting woman. Now,
Is this
Peter-
his first documentary? Doesn't he normally do like action films and
Yes.
stuff exploding?
I think somebody's got a crush, is what I think.
Yeah.
It certainly sounds like that, or some sort of professional crush, because
Right.
he gave her first major acting role in that movie Battleship. She has since
Oh, right. And she was okay.
She has since appeared in Ocean's 8 and Valerian. And Lone Survivor was one of his movies. He did Mile 22. He does a lot of action movies.
Yeah.
But now, is she
Documentary.
from here? Where's she
Barbados.
from? It is. She's from
Barbados,
Barbados.
She's from
All right.
Barbados, yeah.
Hey, Mr. DJ, you know that song? Love that song. Is that her?
I don't know.
Hey,
this
Mr. DJ, won't you tell me what we do with that cool pronunciation? I love it. Derek, do you know who sings that song? All right, then.
That is Rihanna. You were correct.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's right. It's Rihanna.
Thank you.
I knew
There you
that.
go. The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back September 21st and 22nd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, some of the biggest names in music all on one stage. Performances by Fleetwood Mac, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Justin Timberlake, so many people performing. But while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. You're just listening for a keyword. You text it to 200-200 for your chance to win a trip for two. Get all the info at KZOK.com. Your next chance to text in and win happens at 8:10. Sharknado is coming back. A lot of people excited. And
This the fifth one, sixth one?
Sixth one, isn't it?
it's the sixth one.
Wow.
Tara Reid is
A disaster.
Yeah, no kidding. But shows her boobies for no good reason. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well, Tara Reid was doing an interview with Today Extra, which is an Australian talk show. She wasn't in the studio. This was something on Skype.
Yeah.
And here's audio of Tara Reid's not so good interview.
Oh, please.
Honestly, never say never, but I really wanted us to shoot there. It's one of my favorite places, but oh my God, to shoot in Australia, you guys have the sharks, it would be amazing. I mean, one time when I was visiting in Australia, I took a helicopter over, we were landing in a hotel, and as we took the helicopter over, we went like really, really low down, and I saw the netting.
Oh, my God.
She recovered a teensy bit, like the beginning.
She started to
was
recover
slurry.
by the end of that.
Yeah.
I understood the part about the helicopter, and then they saw the nets or whatever was going to come next. But the first part, here's the thing. I have had the shameful experience of being drunk and kind of not knowing it, or I wouldn't have shown up. But somebody will say, good morning, tell me about the new movie coming out. And you go, so I'll say, is it, the second you say it, you hear it. You hear that you're slurring.
You know
Shut
you're
up.
doing it.
Get out. Don't go. And then I flips around. And then I was in a helicopter and continue to talk when you don't have to. That's weird. She doesn't know she's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Well, and she was squinting, like she didn't look right, and she has now canceled all the rest of her press.
Because they'll ask her about that.
Well, her rep says she had to cut her press tour short due to back pain she has been suffering.
Of course, and that would explain the Oxycontins that she's been taking, which would explain why she slurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The producer and one of the creators of the TV show Chicago Fire over the weekend announced that all three shows will collide, a triple crossover of this Dick Wolf series will be happening this season.
Wow.
Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, worlds will collide. All three shows will have like I guess it's just a crossover.
I'll bet they're great, but I've yet to see any one of them. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
I've seen a little bit of, but not. I mean, they've been on for a handful of seasons now. I
Yeah.
think it started with the Chicago Fire.
But
and
didn't
that's
we
been on
say
for a
that
while.
we've never seen Grey's Anatomy?
I've seen a little bit of Grey's Anatomy.
I've
but
never
not a
seen
lot.
1 second. It's been on for like 27
Right,
years or
yeah.
something.
I've seen every single episode of
That's
Grey's
right.
Anatomy, and I have seen every single episode of Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD.
Really?
What kind of time do you have on your hands?
Says the guy who watches 11 hours a day.
Exactly. And I watch what comes on, and I feel your pain. So you watch TV 11 hours a day?
I DVR what I want to watch.
Doesn't make the show shorter.
It's 42 minutes as opposed to 60 when you watch.
Those are a little short.
So you watch 10 hours a day.
And isn't there a fourth one too?
Yeah,
Chicago
yeah.
Law.
There
not
was
watching
Chicago
that one?
Law. I watched every single one of those, but no, that one got canceled.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon will move from NBC to Central Park.
Huh?
September 13th, the Late Night Show has partnered with T-Mobile for a first for late night television event. Instead of being in the NBC studios, they will be outdoors in Central Park, and people are invited to be in attendance.
No, that all depends on the guest, I would think.
On who shows up?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know, to be part of something that's never been done before, I would think people would go no matter who's there.
Well, yeah, but not as much as, say, when Paul Simon showed up and 500,000 people showed up. I think it has to do. I think their musical, you'll be surprised, I believe, their musical guest is going to be somebody outlandish because you need to perform. You want to draw that crowd. The free concerts in Central Park often draw between 250,000 and 500,000 people. You need to deliver, so I'll bet there's some big star.
Netflix has canceled The Break with Michelle Wolf and The Joel McHale Show with Joel McHale. After their first seasons, it looks like poor viewership for both shows.
Yeah. Joel will be fine. I don't even know the other one, but Joel, he's a very funny comic.
She's the one who was from The Daily Show, and she did the White House Correspondents Association dinner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Funny, but a terrible voice.
Yeah,
Super
oh,
high
I remember
pitched.
her.
Yeah. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. Interesting weekend for the Mariners. Friday night was a blowout. The Dodgers beat the M's 11-1.
What?
11-1.
Yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot better for the weekend.
Oh, my God. It doesn't?
Saturday, a lot of people left the game in the ninth inning because the Mariners were leading 4-1.
Isn't that the end of the game for those of us that don't understand?
They
Isn't
left.
the ninth inning the end of the game?
The end
top
of the
of the
ninth
ninth.
inning, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So at the top of the ninth inning, they're like, we got this. A lot of people left.
What was the score? When
4-1.
they left? When they left.
4-1.
4-1. So they get up thinking, oh, we're ahead by 3. It's bottom or something of the ninth. Let's go home and eat pastrami or whatever
Yeah.
they said. And then,
And then they lost the lead.
oh,
Went to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Dodgers reliever Dylan Floro was pitching and not well. Bases loaded. And this
And it's tied up, right?
tied up now. This wound up going to an extra inning. It's tied up. And
tied up
this-
4-4. We didn't get any
4-4.
more hits. Okay.
and bases are loaded. And all of a sudden, the dude, Dylan Floro, has a balk. It was a balk-off walk,
Right.
and the Mariners won the game.
Without
Has
anything
anyone-
else happening?
Balk, bases loaded, you walked the dude
You walk the
home,
guy,
Yeah.
makes a home run.
Because everybody advances one base.
Right.
And there's a home
when,
run.
when the pitcher does a balk, which is a very weird interpretation of what just happened.
Yeah.
I think they've been miscalled a lot, but then I know the least in the room about sports. And that's how you win.
That's how we
I
won.
can't believe they accepted it.
A balk off.
A balk off. I bet they all yelled that.
Well, I think most of the people who had stayed were a little confused at first.
Right.
Because unless you've got really good seats, you don't always see a balk happen. This one was pretty egregious that you could tell he totally balked. But a lot of people went home and were like, 5-4. What happened to 4-1?
The gas man tweeted out something really funny after the game. He said, everybody there at the ballpark, he said, half the people have no idea what happened, and the other half are explaining it to their buddy, and they also have no idea what happened.
He's right.
Because it's just so weird.
Who has a rule named after a sound a chicken makes? Oh, yeah, you're out. You walked.
Well, that
So
was
I guess
the
that
highlight.
was the highlight of the weekend?
Because yesterday the Dodgers beat the Mariners 12-1.
Man.
Well, that's not good.
No.
No, if you were there.
Are we in first place now?
No, we're not,
We're
Danny.
not.
Second, maybe?
No, but we're facing the Houston Astros, who we swept last time
Right,
around.
all
So
right, cool,
we
good
sweep
there.
them again. That'll be a good thing.
If you were at yesterday's Mariners game, you need to start calling us right now to tell us the song that played during Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. If you can remember that song, you call us right now. The first person to tell us will win tickets to an upcoming game. Derek, what will they win?
Tickets for the game on September 8th at 7:10 p.m. versus the New York Yankees, which just happens to be Salute to Latin America Baseball Night.
Salute to Latin America Baseball Night.
Damn it. Call
Why,
right.
why
I
are
got
we
it all.
saluting another country's baseball game?
Because most of our players are from Latin America.
Yeah, just honoring the contribution of Latin American players over the years.
Call
They're
right
gonna
now.
wear
DR.
They're going to wear their Marineros jerseys.
Is that true?
Yeah, they do
I don't
that.
even know
awesome.
what those are. What are they?
It says, instead of Mariners on the back, it says Marineros.
I get it. Oh, I like it.
Call right now, 800-252-1025. First person to tell us that song will win. So we do have the Astros up next. First pitch is 7:10 on Root Sports. Felix Hernandez back to getting the start because James Paxton's on the DL. So we put him in relief, and now just like that, he's back.
All right. He's
Garrett-
back.
Yeah. Garrett Cole will be pitching for the lowly Astros. Another weird happening in
Who are
baseball.
currently in first place. The
you know,
lowly Astros.
Total back and forth between them and Oakland.
Yeah.
Super weird. The Chicago Cubs had a win over the Pittsburgh Pirates on Friday by making history. They won the game by turning a double play, their 7th of the evening.
Jeez.
The 7th double play?
Yeah,
Wow.
tying a Major League Baseball record. It has only happened, so let's see, 3 times. 7 double plays, which is crazy. And it was your buddy Cole Hamels who
Yeah.
had gotten the win on that game.
Nice.
There were a couple football games over the weekend. By that, I mean everybody played. And the Chargers beat the Seahawks 24-14.
That's not good at all. But
No.
again, now I when I first started watching football all of 4 or 5 years ago, I was watching the Seahawks and then getting way into the game. You if they lose it all, that's it. Oh man, your team lost. But now I get these games really do not count. All our best players split.
Yeah, and it's
we
just
see who's any good.
It's just check out new guys, see how they're doing. Get the players that are going to be starters a little bit of time on the field, but mostly you're looking to see who's going to make the team and who's not.
Well, whoever's going to make the team lost by almost 10
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Not even almost, fully 10 points.
So up next for the Seahawks is the Minnesota Vikings. Friday, kickoff is at 5. Now, over the weekend, the Minnesota Vikings had a terrible, terrible preseason outing to the Jaguars. They not only lost 14-10, but they lost 6 players due to injury.
Oh, no way. 6 players that were losing, by the way.
They had 3 dudes get carted off, and several of these people are out for the season.
Wow.
Awful. So I don't know who's playing when they're showing up to play the Seahawks on Friday. Also, the Seahawks added veteran linebacker Eric Walden on Friday and terminated the contract of defensive end Marcus Smith. The Sounders topped the Galaxy 5-0 for their 6th straight win. Next match for them, Portland Timbers, Sunday, 6:30.
That's a nice win. That's like 6 soccer games worth of goals.
Yeah.
5-0.
Top-seeded Seattle Storm were able to beat the Dallas Wings in their regular season finale. And if you are headed to Gonzaga for a basketball game this upcoming season, I have good news for you. Chick-fil-A announced they are going to be opening a restaurant on the campus.
Oh.
And it'll be Chick-fil-A's first location in Eastern Washington.
Yeah, but boy, it's an interesting marketing strategy because they roll out slow, and then when people do it, still line up around the block. I was shocked.
Hey, congratulations to John in Bellevue. He was at yesterday's Mariners game, and new Mariners KZOK music trivia was U2 Pride in the Name of Love. Derek, they're going to the Jeep Winners Window lobby to pick up tickets to, I forget what.
John won tickets for the game on September 8th at 7:10 versus the New York Yankees, which just happens to be Salute to Latin America Baseball Night.
Salute to Latin America Baseball Night.
The Mariners are set to host the New York Yankees for a huge weekend series beginning Friday, September 7th. Watch Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and the Yankees slug it out with Nelson Cruz, Mitch Haniger, and the Mariners. And on the 8th, the Mariners honor the many great contributions the Latin Americans have made in baseball and wear special Marineros uniforms. Get seats while they last at mariners.com.
Thank you.
And nothing says we're a team called the Yankees. I think that makes perfect sense.
So the Mariners are at home again tonight playing the Houston Astros with a 7:10 start time on Root Sports, which means you'll have another chance to win tickets tomorrow morning right around the same time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Let me tell you this, Washington has some of the very toughest DUI laws in the country. If you get a DUI, you need a lawyer because they're going to turn your life upside down. You shouldn't have done it, but don't go to jail. Don't lose your license for years. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. They'll fight hard for you. They'll meet you in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma. So if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Hey, in right around 20 minutes, we have a brand new game coming up. It's called Put Up Your Dukes, or as I like to call it, that's a stupid way to describe that game. Anyway, it's called Put Up Your Dukes, and if you play and if you win, you're going to get yourself a $50 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder.
Love that place.
Yeah, yum.
There was a story making men cringe. A little kid in the morning went into his parents' bedroom, jumped on the bed, and broke his dad's Hoosits.
Yeah.
He had a Mr. Happy. He had taken some Viagra, and it lasted longer than it was meant to. But he had his Hoosits broken. He's going to be okay physically.
Yeah.
But
Not emotionally.
Not emotionally, and he'll have 2 really weird scars, one on each side.
ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it looked like an eggplant, which is not necessarily a good look for that part of your body.
No, but a fine look for a vegetable.
But I can remember being a little kid and accidentally kicking somebody or punching somebody but by accident. Because when you're a little kid, like you go up to hug your dad.
You're at wiener height.
Yeah. And you might like run and punch him.
Yeah.
Or your head smashes that part. Like,
Yeah, it
we don't
happens
know.
all the
It's,
You know, if you weren't talking to two dads, there'd be a very good chance of me going, what the hell is she up to in her house? The fact is, that's totally happens all the time, far more than it should. I think the little bastards are up to it.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll show dad.
their mom put them up to it, I
Go
think.
punch dad in the wiener and just act like you're sorry.
your daughter's 24. Can't understand why she's still kneeing you there.
No, I can't.
But I know being a little kid, oftentimes you cause accidental harm. You know, you don't mean to punch somebody in the whoozits.
Well, according to you, I think they're all out for our whoozits.
Did you ever have a kid cause accidental harm to you, or were you the perpetrator?
I kind of made it happen. I didn't mean for it to happen. Dante was a very little boy, 5 years old, 6 years old. And we were being boys together. We were pulling my finger and 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 life was really funny. And he backed up on me, like butt first, and that's where you cross the line, old man. So I dropped him down the floor, sat on his head, and went.
Oh my God!
That's what he said. He got up, and I thought he'd laugh because that's the game we had just been playing. And he punched me in the face so hard.
Ooh.
And before I could respond appropriately, he was still swinging. I had to restrain this little bastard, 5 years old, from punching me repeatedly in the face. So I'm going to call it an accident because I didn't mean to make him that mad by tooting on him, but he meant to punch me in the face, little bastard.
What about you guys? Did your kid ever cause you accidental harm? Or perhaps you did the accidental infliction of harm when you were a kid? Call us now with your story, 800-252-1025, or text in 90627.
So here's the deal. A kid jumped and allegedly accidentally broke his dad's whoozits. Has your kid ever caused you accidental harm, or did you accidentally inflict harm when you were a kid? Here are the numbers to call, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text to 90627.
We'll start with our friend Yo in Olympia.
Hey, Yo.
Hi, yo.
What's up?
Well, my niece is a lovely, gentle 16-year-old, but when she was a toddler, she was a bruiser, and I mean that literally, because she gave me 2 black eyes.
Oh.
Wow. Did she break your nose? What happened?
So one black eye was given to me while I was sleeping on the couch, and she was about 3, and she ran over to give me a hug and headbutted me right in the eye socket.
Yike.
And then the next black eye was when she was playing with her little toy toolkit, and she unraveled the tape measure. And then she held it by the end, and she swung it around, and the casing tagged me right in the temple. And it was like Bugs Bunny, like a bruise, like bloop.
I like that reenactment.
Yeah, me too. It sounds like it. Because it's funny, we've gotten that reaction more than once. And a guy hit me in the head so hard, and it was like Bugs Bunny. I saw little birdies flying around. Apparently, that's a real thing.
Ron in Kirkland, did you cause accidental harm when you were a kid, or did your kid do it to you?
I did it to my dad. We were unloading split firewood and stacking it up. And so my dad had me in our pickup truck, which had sideboards on it, throwing the wood out to a pile, and my brother and my dad were stacking it. And I threw a piece out, and it hit another piece, which launched into the air spinning, according to my brother. And it hit my dad right square in the head and knocked him out cold.
So you threw one log out, it hit another log. That log went up in the air doing flip, hit your dad in the face. This is the Cirque du Soleil of log stacking, is what I'm getting.
I wonder, like, what do you do when dad comes around, right? Dad
Panic.
wakes up.
Yeah.
You hide is what you do.
That's
Right?
exactly what you
Oh,
do.
it wasn't me, Dad. No, you did that to yourself. Drama in Renton, good morning.
Hey, Drama.
Hey, good morning, Al.
What's up?
All right, so I told Derek one, but I also have another one. But I'll tell you the first one was when I was a kid and my cousin was with me at my grandmother's house, we used to watch Cinemax, HBO, all the movies, action movies. I tied a sheet around my waist and his, and I said, hey, we're going to run and do flips onto grandma's bed. What happened, I ran first, flipped. I'm a little bit bigger and older than he was, and the momentum of me flipping on the bed pulled him faster than he could run, and he fell and hit his mouth and teeth on the metal frame of the bed.
And real quick, help me out with his teeth. What happened?
He's fine and everything, but I was scared because he was bleeding everywhere and crying, and I said, hey, I convinced him to lie and say, hey, you were trying to do it too, and you tripped and fell instead of me pulling you.
Yeah, that's the only way to go. Hey, I'm just wondering, you tied sheets on one to a flip. Were you thinking that you could put the sheet down on your parents' bed in some weird way?
I don't know what we were thinking. I thought we were cool action stars, and they always flip in the movies and do roles and stuff. And
yeah, with a sheet tied around a 6-year-old, I don't know the cool action hero you think you are there, Drama. All right, buddy, I'll talk to you later.
Let's talk to Trucker Andy in Olympia.
Trucker Andy, what's up?
Hey, Danny, how's your golf game going?
It's exactly the same as it was. What do you got?
Okay, I was with my son. I did it to him. Now, he had doing a little bit of boxing in a YMCA deal.
Yeah.
And, so he had always thought that he could kick my butt. Now, at this time, he's like 15, 16 years old. So, we're dads. We're like, oh, okay, I'll get down on my knees and put one arm behind my back. And, he's throwing a few punches. Hasn't been able to touch me. I'm flipping all of his punches. And, he gets me a couple of times. So I go to retaliate a little bit harder than I thought I was going to. And, put him out cold.
Oh,
wow.
Oh,
like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, man, what a panic.
Didn't mean to hit him that hard, but...
That's what you told the officer?
That's what you told me. I was going to say, even though it's the premise of this whole conversation, did you ever hurt a kid or kid hurt you?
Yeah.
Then it just got real. Somebody knocked out a teenager. That's got to be nothing but trouble.
Yeah, we're talking about this because a kid jumped on his dad first thing in the morning, broke his whoozit. So we're asking, did your kid cause you accidental harm, or perhaps you did the infliction of harm when you were a kid? Let's talk to Dave in Olympia.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, hi. I hit my dad in the head with a claw hammer, the claw end of it, at 2.
So is he still dead?
No, he's alive. He lived until he was 75 and passed away in his sleep.
Right.
But,
and how many times have you been institutionalized, Dave?
Never.
Oh, well, you're not living.
He got lucky. Probably at 2, he didn't have a real powerful swing.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But the weight of the claw hammer alone could cause enough velocity to hurt you.
What about Gene from Tennessee?
Hey, Gene.
Hey, good morning. How you doing? Yeah, I'd hit my dad one time with a softball between the legs, but the funniest we ever watched him do was hit himself between the legs with a sledgehammer. He had a piece of metal in a vise, beating the crap out of it, trying to get to bend, and he missed. A little short sledgehammer, racked himself right between the legs. My mom comes out of the house because all she hears is screaming, because we're laying on the ground just rolling. We're laughing so hard we couldn't even stop. And my poor dad's laying over that sledgehammer stuck between his legs.
Ooh.
He hit himself so hard it stuck there. Now that's a whack.
Okay, of course we love all of our listeners, but is there an extra special love for our listeners from the South?
Yes.
When we get calls like that?
But when you called me and said, yeah, one time I hit my dad between the legs with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. And another guy calls and goes, you know what? I hit myself, Dad, and it stuck there. It was so hard.
He was beating the bejesus out of it.
You got to love that guy.
Oh, we love you, Gene.
Matt in Tacoma, good morning.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, good morning. I had my third kid, and I decided that was enough, so I was smart and got a vasectomy. And 24 hours later, I was convalescing on the couch with an ice pack, and I had to change my daughter's diaper. And anybody who knows toddlers knows they have extraordinarily powerful, like piston-like legs.
Yeah.
And she's laying on the couch in front of me, and I'm changing her, and she nails me full power.
In the stitch-filled nards?
Right square. I called the doctor. I go, I think I'm going to die. He's like, you're going to be fine. Keep icing it. It was horrific.
Your doctor said you'd be okay? Ooh. I would be so mad because I had a vasectomy almost 20 years ago. And if I called my doctor up today and said something hit me in the nards, am I going to live? He should say, I don't know. It's an emergency. Come in here. Let me give you tons of medicine. That's what you should do. You're a doctor. Those are my nards.
Good morning to Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
Well, when I was a kid, I went to a birthday party and we were roasting marshmallows over a fire, and my marshmallow caught on fire. So I started kind of like spinning my stick in the air to put the marshmallow out, and it flew off and stuck to the birthday boy's neck and caught his entire head on fire. He lost all his hair.
Two things. One, oh my God. And two, the exact same thing happened to me coming up
Really?
on 20 years ago. I've told you that story
Yeah.
at the camp. I'd never been to camp before. My marshmallow caught on fire, and I flicked it and it stuck to this dad.
You're just trying to put it out.
So I'm not the only guy that set somebody on fire while camping. I feel much better. Thank you, Rob.
Only he was a kid,
Right, I was 40.
Give him a little bit of leeway, but hi, Larry and SeaTac.
Hey, Larry.
Good morning. How
What
are
up?
you folks?
We're all good. What do you got?
Well, when I was a small kid, probably 3 or something like that. My brother and I were shooting our bows and arrows up into this tree, and he went in to go to the bathroom, and then I shot an arrow, and it came down with a big maple leaf stuck around it. So I cocked the bow, and I was running to tell my brother and show my mother and everything. And I ran around the corner, and he ran around the corner. The arrow hit him in the top of his lip and went right up his nose.
Oh.
Was he standing on
Yeah.
his head at the time?
No.
Was he holding it?
was,
It wasn't the arrow coming out of the tree.
Larry was holding it running and shoved it through his lip up his nose.
God, that's terrible.
Makes it a lot easier to wear a nose ring.
Yes, it does.
Vinny in Renton had an incident with lawn darts. Mark in Covington broke his dad's nose, and hilarity ensued.
Yeah.
Yes. Paul, did this happen to you?
Yeah, when Jellybean was really young, like before she could even talk, maybe say a couple of words, but one of the ways she would communicate was she would just punch me right in the face. And I would laugh because she was so tiny and like so cute. And I would laugh, which apparently you're not supposed to do.
No.
And then she would laugh. And so one of these times she hit me and I laughed a little bit and she laughed and then she socked me again, just like hauled back and wailed me right in the face. And I started laughing again as I'm trying to back up and I see the blood dripping down on the carpet. She had split my lip open so big and there was just blood gushing out of my lip.
Did she freak?
No, she was still laughing the whole time.
Wow.
That's our jelly bean.
Yeah, there you go, sweetheart.
Hey, thanks for all your calls and texts. It is now time to play the new game, Sweeping the Nation. Put up your dukes.
Put up your dukes.
You have a chance to win a $50 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder. Tori and Derek will be out at Duke's in Greenwood next Thursday. We want you to hang out with them, food and drink on us. So if you want to play and win this prize, call right now, 800-252-1025. 102.5 KZOK, where we are playing Put Up Your Dukes. This for your chance to win a $50 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder. Here's how it works. We all know Danny would fight any Osmond, a
Damn
mountain
right.
lion, most baby animals.
Mhm.
But to win, you will have to tell us who he is challenging this time to put up their dukes. Okay, makes total sense.
Total sense.
Our contestant is Emily in Olympia.
Hiya, Emily. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you, Danny?
Incredibly well. You ready to play Put Up Your Dukes?
I'm ready.
Then answer me these two questions. 1, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, I do.
2, do you understand the rules of the game?
I think so.
All right, then here we go. Put up your dukes if you are this good old boy from Hazard County. The actor who played him on TV shares a name with the general manager of our favorite football team and has recently been in a bit of real-life trouble with the law, but not as much trouble as the guy who plays his cousin Luke. Can you tell us who? I want to put up their dukes.
I do not know his name, but I know he's one of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. We all knew that. I didn't get any further than that, too. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if Scotty in Issaquah knows the answer.
Scotty, do you know the answer, or do you need me to read it again?
No, I think it's oh gosh, Schneider, the blonde guy. Hell.
No. What's the character's name?
Oh, it's Bo Luke.
Say it again.
It's Bo Duke.
There we go.
Duke is absolutely correct,
Bo
sir.
Duke
There you
is
go.
the answer.
Bo
Get it?
Duke.
Put up his
Yeah,
dukes.
yeah.
Congratulations, Scotty and Issaquah. You've won the $50 gift card to Duke's Seafood and Chowder. You can pick up your prize at the Jeep Winners window in our lobby. Voted best restaurant and best seafood restaurant in 2018. Duke's knows seafood. with Happy Hour daily from 3 till 6 and 9 till close. Join us again tomorrow, 7:20 for another exciting round of Put Up Your Dukes. But the big news of the day is next.
And the big news of the day is brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
You guys remember the story that we talked about in the news about a young woman who was with a group of friends up on a bridge over the Lewis River. When she chickened out on jumping, one of her friends pushed her.
Gave her a real shove.
Yes, and she got significant injuries. Well, we are now finding out that single push could land Taylor Smith in jail for a year and a $5,000 fine.
As well as a crazy lawsuit, I'm guessing.
Well, the story is kind of a she said, she said.
How can that be? There's video.
Well, she says she wanted to jump. She was scared, and she had asked me to give her a push. I didn't think about the consequences. I thought it would be fine.
And everybody here is under 18 years old?
No, she is 18.
Okay. Well, you know what? At the end, I'm not sure it matters. I will hold back judgment for a moment.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the same situation where not that height, a much lower height, but where either you're the one who it's your turn to jump and you really want to do it, all your buddies did it, but all of a sudden you're facing a little fear and somebody gives you a push, or you give the other person a push.
Yeah,
I've done
but
both.
You've changed the entire dynamic. I'm not jumping from anywhere near that high. That's how you started. So you take out 50% of the danger at the very least.
Right.
You get the possibility of that was somehow a good idea. Because I thought the girl might have asked for a push as well. And other people were jumping and not getting creamed, right?
Yeah, other people had already jumped.
Yeah, so that is, so I don't know. If she asked for a push, I say dump it. If not, the shove looked menacing to me.
Yeah, if she asked for a push, then that other girl better hope that that's also on videotape, because what's on videotape is her saying, no, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yes. So she says she wanted to jump. She was scared. She asked me to give her a push. Now, the problem is the reason she got so hurt is the people who have jumped this before say typically you enter feet first.
Yeah.
When you fall 3 times your height, 50% of people die.
3 times your height? 15 feet?
That doesn't seem that
18
high.
feet?
When
No.
you fall 3 times your height, 50% of people will die, according to surgeons. She has broken bones. Both lungs were punctured, and that's because when she was pushed, she wasn't ready, and she didn't land feet first.
Okay, two things that I don't know. One, how high is that bridge over the water?
Ooh, it's super high, 60 feet.
Yeah, 60 feet.
60 feet. So not that lady, let's get her maybe 5'5". So we're not talking 17 feet now, where most people would die. So this girl's a hero. The other thing, are you sure the people that are jumping 3 times their height and getting killed aren't jumping onto solid land at first?
I think also a difference there between jump and fall. They're saying fall.
Yes.
Like you're not anticipating it.
You fall on your head, you fall on your back, you fall on your stomach, which is what happened to her.
On water. You die at 17 feet on water. That's
as opposed to
outlandish.
cliff diving. Cliff jumping, jumping off a
No,
boat.
I
You're
get the
doing it on
difference
purpose.
between voluntary and not voluntary. I just didn't think that 16, 17 feet would kill you.
Doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like it. Except you're falling on concrete head first, then maybe, but not in water.
Police say 2 Minnesota beer delivery men were able to prevent a suicidal man from jumping off of a bridge in St. Paul, and they are calling these dudes heroes. Jason Cable and Kawami Anderson were driving their beer delivery truck when they spotted a man clinging to the outer fence of a bridge. They pulled over. One of them called 911. They then said, "Are you okay?" This dude, Kawami Anderson, says he recalled the negotiating tactics Denzel Washington used in the movie Inside Man.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going with Denzel.
He tried to build a rapport with the man. He offered to talk him over a beer. Said, "Man, we got a whole delivery truck full of beer. Let's grab a beer. Let's just talk about it." He said to himself, "I got to keep this guy entertained while I wait for police."
That's what I feel about everybody listening right now. If I don't keep you properly entertained, you're all going to jump off something.
It took the cops an hour to show up. These dudes sat there, had a Coors Light.
Ew, jump. Here are your options, jump or Coors Light.
According to St. Paul Police, beer has been bringing people together for a long, long time. Today, it brought people together in a life-saving way.
Well, congratulations to those guys. I have nothing negative to say about the story except the brand of the beer, but hey, if it did the job. And I don't even drink beer, never did. I get all of this from you, Sarah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
In that song, Buy Me a Boat, that's all they want is some silver bullets and a boat.
Alice in Chains made a big announcement on Friday. They are going to perform on the Space Needle tomorrow. They are going to perform
at the Space Needle, right? Like at the base, they're going to set up a stage.
Nope.
On top of the Space Needle?
They're going to on the glass floor.
Oh, wow. So like inside the Space Needle.
Inside the Space Needle.
Wow.
This is all to celebrate their new album. And they said, we're, from here, this is a really big honor. We're super proud of our new album, and this is a really special place to do a concert.
It's a lovely story. Can anybody hear it? When it happens, they putting speakers outside?
That'd be a great idea. No, it's going to be for,
They got
50 people who...
Yeah, they got to film it, right?
And they got to put the
so.
speakers outside. They're making a big fuss. I had every plan. I saw this last night and didn't get to the part where Sarah's telling us right now. I thought I'd look out my window today and open it up and listen and watch them. Apparently, I said it's not the case.
They're not going to roll the windows down.
They'll be
for
inside
you.
a restaurant playing a thing for nobody.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for playing along.
This is tomorrow. We'll see if maybe we can get them to put some speakers outside.
Aren't there already speakers outside, to be honest with you?
I don't know. I've never seen any speakers.
I think they blast music during New Year's Eve, don't they?
Yeah, probably just around there are speakers.
Cool.
Yeah, so if they can do it for...
Yeah, they're going to do it. They would never not do it. Tell them Danny Bonaduce said to do it.
And we have had a lot of talk over the past 2 years about the national anthem. Who's standing? Who's sitting? Should the NFL do something about people standing or sitting? Well, ESPN is apparently tired of the conversation, and they said, we will not be broadcasting the national anthem.
Oh, my God.
They said, generally, we do not broadcast the national anthem.
Oh.
Yeah, they just started it when the controversy came about. Before they didn't show it.
Then I can live with it. I don't like it because there's two sides to every story on this. One, you young bastards won't stand up for the national anthem. Two, racist cops keep shooting Africans that don't have guns on them. Well, that's bad. Maybe we should stop that first. But either way, this is, I want to get involved. I want to care a great deal, and I do. But this is a problem that has not reached out to grab me except as an American.
Well, and they said, it's not something we would typically air and that nothing's going to change. And of course, meanwhile, the league and the Players Association are trying to work out a policy for player conduct during the anthem because that battle's not completely over. We'll see what they choose to do.
Yeah, I don't like it, but it's not my thing. Nobody ever shot somebody the color of my particular flesh tone because they felt like it or because they had a phone in their hands. So I guess in that sense, it's all of our problems.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about the first pitch that was thrown out before the Kansas City Royals and Chicago White Sox game on Saturday. A lot of times when we talk about the ceremonial first pitch being thrown out, it's something really bad that happens, like 50 Cent. Sorry, this 50 Cent. I said that in a very conservative fashion. Throwing the ball way outside, nobody can catch it. You make fun of people who don't throw it well.
Yeah, the bad ones. Those are the fun ones to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't call me because I'm no fun because I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard 600-mile-an-hour fastball. Right
I
down
heard
the middle,
780.
right?
To be honest, that's what I heard.
Everybody's talking about the woman who threw out the first pitch and how amazing it was. Sister Mary Jo Sobiak of Marian Catholic High School, not only did she take to the mound like a boss, she did a bicep ball bump and then threw like the most perfect pitch right over the plate.
What was this lady's name?
Sister Mary Jo Sobiak, and she went there wearing her habit.
Of course, it's hard to break the habit, especially if you're a Sobiak.
She is a nun.
She actually threw a curveball, too.
Yep.
It was funny when she gets up on the mound and she does that, rolls the ball down and pops it up with her arm. You're just like, oh my gosh, who is this lady? And she throws a great first pitch.
Yep. And they said, maybe you want to start heading to the bullpen.
Yeah.
They were really proud of her. But this video is up at KZOK.com if you haven't seen it.
All right. I have not seen it.
A fantastic pitch from this lady. That, and my friends, is the big news of the day, which is brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
You asked for it, you got it. Coming right up, it's Business News with Jim the Flagger.
And now, business news from Jim the Flagger.
Things are looking up for Dish Network, who reported better than expected quarterly profits and revenue. They struggled to cut losses from cord cutting, but are working to diversify by eventually launching a 5G wireless network. As a result, shares ended up 14.5%. Now, this is good news, but I can't go all in on recommending their stock until somebody figures out how to get the damn TV to work again in the room where Daddy keeps his treadmill.
He's right. He's right. You know, my lovely wife says to me, there are very few things in life better than Tito's handmade vodka. Well, there's a thing that it might be better. It's Tito's handmade vodka and KZOK tomorrow before the baseball game at Henry's First Avenue Tavern for a Tito's night out. You should do that.
Fun.
At Tito's tailgate, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, what are you going to be doing when you get there?
Me and Tori are be hanging out at Henry's for Tito's tailgate before the ball game, 5 to 7 p.m. We're going to be doing some drink specials and just saying hello to all of our happy fans.
Very nice. All right, we'll see you there. That's tomorrow night, 5 to 7 at Henry's.
Well, over this past weekend was the date August 18th of 2018.
Yeah, sure.
8/18/2018. It was the most popular day of this entire year to get married.
That's weird. Why?
A lot of people thought it was lucky with the 8 and the 18s. 8,
Oh, yeah.
18,
8's a lucky number.
See,
3 8s in the date.
11/11, I see that one seems like you're stretching,
Yeah.
to be honest. Yeah.
Well, not for people who really believe in the power of the number 8 and 3 8s.
Oh, I didn't think that. I just thought they all sunk up. Like, they're specific, like numerology kind of important.
Yeah, but I mean, to a lot of people, a lot of cultures, specific numbers are very,
Right.
very important.
Sure.
And, you know, when it was 11/11/11, people
See?
got married like crazy.
That's a thing. That's totally a thing.
Well, it was a thing. 8/18/2018.
Right.
The most people got married this past Saturday than any other day this year. And, you know, I get that some people like to do stuff because they think it's lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really believe that much in the numbers. You know, if something special happened on the 17th, that's my favorite number. I wouldn't think, oh, that's like a sign from God. That
I would. I absolutely would. I have a lucky number. I probably mentioned it to you guys before. It's 318, and I have no idea why I think it's lucky. It was just my apartment number, the last 3 numbers of my license plate number, and the last 3 number of my driver's license number.
Oh,
all
wow.
at the same time when I was 17 years old. And ever since then, every time I see it, I think something great's going to happen, but it never does.
Maybe it's an unlucky number.
Maybe. There's a possibility.
For a long time, I would throw salt over my left shoulder. If I was at a restaurant, if I was having like a crappy day or something, or even at a bar because people would use it for shots of tequila, I would just throw salt over my shoulder and like make a wish. I had no idea I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That it's supposed to be something about like devils or witches over your shoulder and you do that to ward off the bad spirits. But I thought it was just like a good luck thing. And I just toss it over my shoulder.
And so what part of it are you doing wrong?
Well, the tradition typically goes, I was just doing it for luck.
Right.
Maybe my day will turn around. I'll win the lottery tonight because I threw salt over my shoulder.
And the salt has to spill on its own, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
didn't
Only
know
if you
that.
spell it. Yeah. You would just open it up, take a pinch,
Dump it over your
Yes.
show ball.
throw
That's
it on
not
the guy
lucky.
behind you.
That's not lucky. That's messy. And it's
Yeah.
certainly not lucky for the guy behind you.
Exactly. Well, I stopped doing that because it wasn't lucky.
Yeah, I did that, and then I looked it up, and I was throwing it over the wrong shoulder. So I'm with you.
Have you done something, Danny, that is done because you think it's lucky?
All right. I kind of rubbed this guy's package once.
Oh,
'Cause I
yeah?
thought I was like, well, I'll make this better. He was dead. Does
Oh.
that help?
No.
There's a guy, his name is Victor Noir, and he's in the cemetery in Paris that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of it? I don't.
I don't.
Okay. It's big, famous. It's where the
Jim
Doors
Morrison.
guys are all buried and Oscar Wilde's buried. Well, this guy's there, and what happened is he got in a duel. He's like 23, and he got shot, and he died. But after being dead, he got a dead guy, Mr. Happy.
Oh.
So they made this cast of his body to put at the cemetery, and he's got a Mr. Happy in it. And everybody rubs it. Women rub it hoping to have a baby. Guys rub it because we're me and stupid. Why not? But if you look up this guy, I'll give you his name again. It's Victor Noir. His whole body is like dark brown or patina and everything, except his crotch area is bright gold from where everybody rubbed the patina off. It's crazy. So I rubbed that in hopes to have a baby. We didn't.
There's something about rubbing those. When I was in Russia, in the subway systems, they've got all these beautiful chandeliers and beautiful architecture all throughout Moscow. And this one has all these amazing brass or like what do you call them, like a frieze when it's on the side of a wall, and the sculptures pop out of the wall, and some of them are dogs. Same thing. They're all black except for their noses, where people rub their noses for luck.
Right.
Well, I felt compelled to do it. I didn't wish for anything. I just touched some dog's nose.
Oh, same thing with a statue of Buddha. You rub his head for luck. There's a lot of things, especially
Yeah.
like baseball players. Everybody does something for luck.
Sure.
I rubbed the crotch of a dead guy.
More than once.
You do that for luck or just for fun?
Just saying, well, I might have kissed him, but I just felt trampy if we didn't kiss.
What about you guys listening? Is there something you do or have done because you think it's lucky? What do you do? Call now, 800-252-1025, or text your answer into 90627.
The date was 8/18/18, I guess. And a lot of people looked at that as super lucky, so they got married on him. Hey, more power to them. Is there something that you do or have done because you thought, hey, this is probably lucky? 1-800-252-1025 or text 90627.
Good morning, Teresa in Redmond.
Morning, Teresa.
Hey,
Hey.
I kissed the Blarney Stone, but it doesn't give you luck. It lets you become full of Blarney.
How did no one explain that to you?
No,
Oh,
not when I went and kissed it.
And you have to get in
It's
some
always been known as a lucky thing, but
well, it gives you the gift. It gives you the gift of gab, I think, is the thing. And I think you're lucky if you don't break your spine getting into the position you need to get into to kiss that thing, right?
that's correct. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, there, Teresa.
Well, then she is lucky. She didn't break her
Look,
spine.
she totally has the gift of gab.
800-252-1025.
Be quiet, lady.
Is there something you do or have done because you think it's lucky? And it doesn't matter if you are correct or not. Like people go to kiss the Blarney Stone. They don't know why. Something else I saw people doing in Russia, we went to a lot of churches, and a lot of people wanted, I guess, I don't think it's the word is luck. They wanted something. They were kissing all of the pictures of holy people. So I don't know who they were, saints or...
They're probably the saints.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't recognize. Some of them were probably Mary, but everybody would wait in line and go kiss it.
Yeah.
There were just lip marks all over it. I don't need that kind of luck.
There is, and I'm not sure what people were going for, except that Oscar Wilde suffered so much for being gay.
Yeah.
Went to jail for it, which I did not know. I thought he was convicted, and they went, all right, shame on you. Don't be gay anymore. They put him in jail for a year. One of the most clever men who ever walked the face of this earth. So I don't know why everybody wants to kiss the headstone at his grave, and it's huge. They surrounded it in plexiglass, so you can't physically touch anymore. But why are people kidding? What's the good luck there with a great, clever writer?
I don't get it.
Me
Maybe
either.
think that it'll rub off on you and you'll be a great writer.
Well, I'm sure he'd rub off on you if you asked him nicely, but that's not the point here.
But, you know, like I said, was throwing salt over my shoulder for luck. Totally wrong. So I think people sometimes do something because they think it's lucky. It's not like it is.
You know the Trevi Fountain in Italy and Rome?
Oh, yeah.
It is, if you throw a coin over your shoulder, it means like 157 different things. In my world, it has always meant you'll come back to Rome one day.
Yeah, same here.
That's what I
thought.
believe in. Then there's the other one, people just do it for good luck. The other one is for true love. Throw it over the correct shoulder, you'll find true love. So it's got 87 different things that it can do, but I've done them all. I've thrown that fountain's rich because of me, to be honest with you. I've thrown enough coins in that thing, but it turns out this whole time I've been doing it wrong.
Well, a lot of people in Verona will go try to rub the statue of Romeo and Juliet
Sure.
for true love. I mean, they would just then die of a broken heart.
I have actually heard a person say this. You guys are a modern day Romeo and Juliet, and I hope you have the same good fortune they did. No, everybody's going, do you know they killed themselves?
It's a terrible story.
Yeah, it's a terrible story.
800-252-1025. Is there something you do or have done because you think it's lucky?
Lori from South Hill texted in to 90627. She says, my daughter was born on 9/19/1991 at 9:10 a.m.
Whoa.
Now I always play these numbers, but I've never won
Right.
anything.
And nobody ever even asked, is your daughter a convict now? We don't know. Who knows what your daughter's up to? But yeah, that's the thing. That I tried playing 318 in different ways on craps and things like that because there's not enough number for whatever, the Powerball or anything. But I've tried I bet on horses with 318, nothing. I mean, when you ride around with me now that you know this, you'll see that number. You'll go, wow, you're right, Danny. There it is on that license plate. There it is on that building all the time.
But a lot of people see it because they are aware of it.
That's the thing with 1111. Amy and I don't know if we really first kissed at 1111. I forget what the deal is. That 1111 was important to us. When we first started going out, I love you. It's 1111. I love you. We still do that, even though it's stupid. So I got 1111 tattooed on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the tattoo artist says, can I get this tattoo all the time?
Oh.
I said, what? And he goes, oh, yeah, everybody. There's all these people that think 1111 is a thing. It turns out your eyes if you have a digital clock, your eyes will get attracted to that particular design of numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see it more often than any other numbers, and everybody thinks it's lucky. So now I have but I have so many stupid tattoos, I guess I'll be cool.
Another text in at 90627. Every time I find a penny heads up, I put it in my right shoe for good luck. And if I find one that's heads down, I toss it over my shoulder, hoping somebody else will have good luck.
Well, that's sweet.
Nice.
And crazy, but mostly sweet.
Yeah, definitely crazy, but at least they're sharing that luck.
You know,
That's
the things
cool.
that we do around here that could be conceived as kind of that was crazy that you do that, or you did that, or you're going to do that. You know, for example, we say out loud, I want to fight a puma. That might be crazy.
By we mean you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And by me, I mean never. But it's the thing that we say.
Paul, is there something that you do or have done because you think it's lucky?
Yeah, I'm not a very superstitious person, but this happens every now and again. Like, we'll be doing the show, it's going fairly well, and we're about halfway through, and somebody says, hey, we're having a pretty good show today. And then I immediately just start knocking as much as I can on the fake wood, the wood veneer countertop, because I assume that we're just going to jinx it by saying it out loud.
See, I don't think so, and that's why I'd like to point out at this juncture, Paul, that I think we're having a great show, and more important than that, I think it's your fault. I think everything you've added today makes this show spectacular.
Why don't you just go back to Paris and rub the whoozits of somebody noir?
You know, I don't have to go to Paris to rub the whoozits. I'm a popular guy.
Well, you're not going to do it in this room.
Yeah, I think you might be. So we're going to die now.
Tori, is there something that you do or have done because you think it's lucky?
When I need a little luck, I touch the urn of my hedgehog. Yeah, I have my hedgehog in an urn.
You have your hedgehog in an urn?
My goodness.
It's really tiny and really cute, and it's next to
I
my
know,
bed.
but what about the hedgehog?
It's next to bed.
Sorry.
Tori, where did you find a tiny hedgehog urn?
Oh, they asked if I wanted to do that because I had to put him down, and the doctor's office was like, we can cremate him and put him in the smallest urn we have. And I'm like, yeah, please.
I told him he was a terrible hedgehog and he looked like a gerbil. That's how I put him down.
Derek, is there something you've done because you think it's lucky?
On the golf course, when you're walking by the pond, you got to grab an old beat-up ball and toss it in there.
Really?
Appease
Is that
the
a
golf
thing?
gods. Yeah.
So the pond is just full of old beat-up balls?
Oh, millions.
And the weirdest part of this, if I'm not mistaken, golf balls float, don't they?
No.
Oh. They sink. In fact, people don't. Isn't that their job that they dive down?
Oh,
there and get the old...
You're right. I read about those guys in scuba suits.
Yeah.
Go down
So
there.
bizarre.
and
So
grab
Derek, is it working?
golfers'
Is your
balls.
golf game great?
No.
But you keep doing it.
Thanks for all your calls and texts. We will be back with your news next. At least one person was injured in a wrong-way crash along State Route 18 near Covington this morning. The crash happened just before 7 a.m. on West 256th Street. At least one person had been trapped in the car, and that person involved in this crash has been arrested for DUI.
Yikes.
If you are traveling into the city of Seattle, today is a big change day when it comes to 3rd Avenue. 3rd is now closed to cars between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day.
What? How am I supposed to get anywhere?
I know. Only buses and bikes will be allowed on a 13-block stretch from Yesler to Stewart. Now, presently, as I said, today's the first day. A lot of people unaware, knew maybe it was happening, but aren't sure. They're not going to start ticketing people for a few weeks, giving people time to get used to it.
It sounds crazy. Plus, we were talking about good luck versus bad luck just a few minutes ago. Yesler, I think he was our first mayor or our first governor. Allegedly, terrible, terrible, terrible person.
Yeah.
Bankrupt the city, took money out of the coffers, and now his name is on a bike or on a street that's being shut down. I say something trouble is afoot.
Police are
or is that
searching.
the Mercer family? Somebody's bad.
You
No,
said
not
before the Mercers were really bad.
No, the Mercers are kind of good. They brought chicks here for the loggers.
I don't know who Mr. Yesler is.
Yesler, I think this is all from an underground tour a year ago. I could be totally wrong, but I think he was the first. He was like the first governor or high up the food chain, and I think he stole money from our
Gotcha.
coffers, and people didn't like him, but liked him enough to give him a street.
Okay, Alexa, who was Mr. Yesler?
And what's his net worth?
Henry L. Yesler. He has no current net worth because he died in 1892.
Well, that's no excuse.
He served 2 terms as mayor and is regarded as the founder of the city of Seattle, Mr.
Oh.
Henry L. Yesler. I don't see the bad things he did, but I'm sure he did.
I could be totally wrong. I think I'm right, but I'm getting this from a 17-year-old girl giving me a tour of the underground, so she could be wrong.
This may also sound totally crazy, but is that why the bar Henry's is named Henry's?
Oh, it may well be.
Because it's down near Yesler Way.
This was the 1800s. Everybody was doing bad stuff, so I'm sure he did
that's
bad
true.
stuff.
And the Mercers, they were right around the same time, and that family was bringing wives. Don't get me wrong, they weren't bringing up hookers and stuff. Although we had our fair share of hookers around the same time too.
Yeah, right.
Back to the news. Police are searching for a gunman who shot 2 people in Seattle's University District Friday night. This was at a house party on 20th Avenue. Police say that 2 people were taken to the hospital. Neither of them are facing life-threatening injuries, and the gang unit is investigating.
You know, I cannot, because when I think of this shooting and I think of the house partying, I think of Kid and Play. And I can't imagine anybody shooting anybody over a Kid and Play fiasco.
No.
Although that hair always bothered me.
A terrible story has reached an economic conclusion, and the cost of secretly recording women in a Washington state locker room, $1 million in damages. A couple sued the city of Bellingham and the city employee who admitted to making those videos in 2015 at the Aquatic Center in Bellingham. The employee is a 55-year-old, and they discovered that this man had been taping women in the locker room and has been awarded, her and her husband, $1 million in damages.
Wow, my goodness gracious, who would have expected that? Although now be careful of copycat crimes.
What do you mean?
Well, if I know now, if you spy on me in the bathroom, if Paul spies on me and makes video of me in the bathroom, I'm going to get $1 million. Psst, Paul, you got a phone with a camera? Come on, you're going to get $300,000 out of this. No, you don't get the whole $500,000. I get $7.
You're not going to cover my legal fees?
Not a chance in the world, mister.
Well, if you've left the house already, you can probably tell that our bad air quality is back. Unfortunately, all sensors that test air quality in the Seattle-Tacoma area are reading unhealthy for people. Now, the air is pretty thick. It is smoke from wildfires. It has caused delays at SeaTac, poor visibility. Check ahead with your carrier if you're flying this morning. And experts say don't exercise outside. Try to stay indoors to stay safe. This is bad for anybody. It's not just if you have lung issues. It's unhealthy.
It looks unhealthy. I'm not putting an argument up about this. It looks terrible.
Good news, bad news for people who want to get involved in Washington real estate. For the first time in a year and a half, Washington is not the state with the hottest housing market.
No.
It's not that homes have suddenly become dirt cheap, because they haven't. However, Nevada has seen the biggest home price increase in the nation. Now, they said experts analyzing this believe that if you want to sell your house, now is the time because they think it has reached its peak.
Here or
here in Washington,
Nevada? Okay.
Here in Western Washington, and that the home growth price, the price growth has started to level off and will start to decline.
Well, it can't decline too far. Then you have a depression. It can't go much further than you paid for it, than the whole city. You know, the only time that ever happened that I'm aware of is Dallas, Texas. And what people were doing, they were setting their houses on fire in Dallas. The number one cause of whatever it is, rebuilding, what people were setting their houses on fire because of the crash in Dallas.
Yeah, they're not saying a crash. That would be similar to what was it, 2007?
Right. That's when I bought my house in Los Angeles, which I
Right.
still own and I don't want to. I just can't sell it.
And that was nationwide. I mean,
Right.
that has certainly impacted people in Washington as well. But no, they are right now. What we're seeing is home prices higher than they should be. So if your house is worth $200,000, you're selling it for $300,000. That's going to start its decline back to being reasonable and what houses are being appraised at.
All righty.
On to national and international news, and your news this morning is brought to you by Johnson RV. Police in Texas say 2 people are dead, including a woman who opened fire at a large food warehouse early this morning. One person was killed, another person injured in gunfire. This was in Missouri City, Texas. This woman opened fire about 3 o'clock in the morning. Police then exchanged gunfire with the woman who was struck and did not survive.
Jeez, where was this?
Missouri City, Texas.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah,
Missouri City,
it
okay.
is a bit
So
confusing.
a gunfight with a lady, that's super rare.
Yeah.
And killing her, also fairly rare.
Yep. We do not know her name. They have not disclosed that information yet, so we don't have a lot of information about what the motive could be, but a pretty terrible and peculiar story. And a story from the Wall Street Journal. They say laser pointer attacks are a serious and growing problem for U.S. military pilots in the Middle East. The Pentagon has acknowledged for the first time just how big this problem is, predominantly in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. That's where the bulk of some 350 laser-related incidents have occurred in this year alone.
And whose planes are they?
This is our military.
Getting shot in the eyes with lasers from somebody on the ground in Syria. I got an
Yes.
idea. Lock our lasers on their lasers and see if our missiles beat their little funny little laser game.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows how dangerous that is now. So in my opinion, anybody that does it is trying to bring down an American aircraft, whether it's here or somewhere else. And I say we got to start shooting more folks.
It seems like our military planes would be flying at a speed that you couldn't do that. You couldn't point a laser at a jet and the jet's gone, right?
No.
No?
Lasers, first of all, they go the speed of light, and the planes don't. So if you see anything, you put a laser on it, no problem. It just immediately
I guess
hit it.
my hand doesn't go the speed of light, so how am I?
So you don't ever see flying, just play overhead and go, planes, huh?
Sure, I do.
Yeah, well, you play. That's. I mean, we have the laser problem here all the time.
Yeah,
we're
right.
arresting
With-
people, tracking them down.
Normally
so-
with like a commercial flight. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a new job, Paul?
I have been for a long time.
Did he do something bad?
No. A lot of people are excited about a new job posting. It's for a job writing for Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. They are looking for game writers who know how to hit a punchline, whether it be
I'm
hilarious, brutal, or grotesque in fashion. The card game, known as the party game for horrible people, has posted several job openings. Say if you think you're funny, you can get some laughs. You get some sophisticated fart jokes or some good poop jokes. You can work remotely and make $40 an hour.
Do you also get to drink gin, Sapphire gin, and lay on mattresses? Is it one of those?
No, this is an actual job. This is
Taste
not
test pizza.
Yeah, it's an actual job.
Yeah, I mean, all those jobs are actual jobs, but they are short term, the Nutella taster and all that. But this is an actual job.
Neat.
Right, for Cards Against Humanity. You've got that in you, Paul. You can be terrible.
Yeah, I can be.
And tell a poop joke. I think.
I think you'll be fine, man.
A Slovenian comedian who
That right there. A Slovenian comedian. Really? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to taste him or sleep on his head or whatever it is?
He's got a new job. This guy had impersonated the country's former prime minister and has now been appointed to that position.
What?
His impersonation must have been really good.
Marjan Sarek is a longtime comedian and actor. He was appointed as prime minister on Friday, and he was chosen by Parliament 55 to 31. So for many years, he did impersonations of the dude.
What,
it's like
again?
It's like Alec Baldwin becoming president of the USA.
Right. But so what country again? Slovenia, right?
Slovenia, yeah.
Is that where what's her face is from?
Melania,
Mrs. Trump?
yeah, first lady, yeah.
The first lady.
So you make fun of somebody, you're so good at it. Next thing you know, you've got their job. It's true.
Just thinking of what nasty things I can say.
A lot of people know about the cocktail Vodka Redbull.
Sure,
yeah.
Vodka Red Bull's been consumed ever since Red Bull came on the market. And a lot of people say it makes them feisty. It makes them fight.
Because it gives you wings and then also makes you do stupid stuff. So you're kind of flying around doing
like,
stupid
for
stuff.
example, thinking you have wings
Right,
and
exactly.
jumping out a window.
Well, think about a lot of people feel this way about tequila. That tequila gives you some kind of energy and like you don't want to see me when I've been drinking tequila, or you always get into a fight when you're drinking tequila. Well, according to...
Are any of these people over 21? Because the only person who does those kind of stupid things with any regularity that I'm aware of is me. The grown-ups really drink tequila and they'll get it in a fight. The Steve Slayton go to Henry's Tavern, have a couple of shots, and go, you know what, I'm going to punch Derek right in the face.
I think Slayton doesn't drink tequila because he knows he'll do that.
He knows he'll punch Derek in the face?
Yeah.
I think we should have a contest. Who can drink and punch Derek in the face?
Steve Slayton drinks Manhattans.
He does?
He does. He's a
fancy.
Sophisticated drinker. I notice a difference when I drink red wine versus tequila. Red wine makes me super mellow.
What makes you feel so fine? Feels so fine all the time. UB40. Come on, get on board.
Well, there is new research that was published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research that says vodka Red Bull does actually make you fight.
Oh, I thought for sure it was going to be shenanigans.
Nope.
Wow.
Now, they say because of the combination of the two, it's the high levels of caffeine that you do have, then with the heavy drinking, a greater risk of fighting, violence, and risky behavior.
Don't you also have a way bigger chance of losing said fight?
Because you're drunk.
You're all geezed on Red Bull and vodka, and you're going to go talk tough to somebody twice your size? Because you never, when you're drunk and want trouble, talk to anybody your size. You got to go up to the biggest guy in the world, reach up and poke him in the chest and get your ass handed to you.
Great story from Boston.com. Another man has bitten off another man's finger during a fight on a golf course.
Oh, man, my goodness. And now when the guy yells 4, he means it.
Yeah.
I like myself.
A 47-year-old man was arrested at the Southers Marsh Golf Club. He got into a fight with another golfer, and it escalated to the point where he bit off part of his thumb.
Somebody or everybody's an idiot. Now, biting, huge good call. If you're in a fight, and especially if you're not winning, you're in a headlock, you're going to get your whatever. Bite is a wonderful thing. Oh, full on pro biting, absolutely. But I'm also in favor of never put your golf club down. Why did that stop? Why did anybody get nearer than a 7-iron or whatever those things are called?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. You've already got a weapon?
Yeah, you got to put that down so somebody can bite your fingers off. It seems stupid.
Derek, you're a golfer. Would one of these golf clubs be a good weapon, or do they break easily?
Oh, no, it's a great weapon.
It's a great weapon. It's in movies all the time.
Well, because it's in movies, it must be real.
No, that's what I mean. The wife bashes some guy over the head. As a matter of fact,
Yes?
George Harrison's wife beat a guy with a knife stabbing George Harrison, beat him away with a golf club.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you go.
Didn't Tiger Woods' wife beat him with his golf club?
Yeah,
too?
see, it's a wonderful, wonderful weapon.
At the knuckle.
Thumb's bad. That changed. That's almost not funny anymore. It's still a little funny, but it's less funny than it was.
How is he going to hitchhike?
How's he going to do, like, seriously anything? You ever try and pick anything up and you don't have a thumb? I don't know why I've tried that a bunch of times. Have you?
Try to pick things up without a thumb?
Pretending you don't have a thumb?
No.
Oh,
I've
I thought you
always had
nodded
a
like,
thumb.
oh, yeah, I've done that. No, I don't know why I did it, but it's really hard. My phone, I can't pick up my phone.
You can't text.
I can't text. Why not?
You use your thumbs to text.
Yeah.
If you're way better than I am, I use one finger.
You certainly can't thumb wrestle.
No.
Oh, you can't.
Well, you
No.
can. You just lose.
Yeah.
And a pro golfer named Kevin Stadler is also in trouble. He was competing in Portland on Friday in a tournament, and he slammed his club against the turf and his foot, shattering his golf club, sending one piece of the golf club flying into the crowd where it hit him. Blood flows. 6
He was in the
stitches.
crowd?
That hits a dude in the crowd.
Oh.
6 stitches to close the wound.
Yeah, but that's not his fault,
That's not
right?
his
He didn't
fault.
do it on purpose.
I think it's his fault. You got to manage your own golf club.
I think it's the guy's fault showing up at a golf game. You're a weirdo just for that. And then everybody gets hit with a ball. I would have bet 100 times a year or more somebody takes a ball to the head.
Oh, it's his fault because he didn't yell 4. You got to
There
yell
you
4.
go.
You don't
right?
know if he yelled 4.
He didn't because the pros don't do that, I don't think.
Well, then he shouldn't have done it because pros don't do it. And I think he's a pro.
Have you never attended a golf tournament, Danny?
Yeah, I did. I hurt myself.
They're very quiet, right?
They're
Shane
fun.
Victorino's. What?
They're fun.
Yeah, the one I went to was hysterically fun. Shane Victorino's the flying Hawaiian Golden Glove winner, Golden Mitt winner 5 years in a row or some such thing like that. Took my first swing because I don't golf and hit the golf club straight in the ground and it hurt both my elbows and they hurt all day. I went home after that.
A man was arrested and charged with indecent exposure after allegedly standing completely naked at a busy intersection in the middle of his town. 21-year-old Xavier White, completely naked. Police arrived at the scene and they said, "Why are you naked in public?" And he said, "I'm a peace drinker." And they said, "Okay, well, you need to come with us." And he said, "Well, can you take me somewhere so I can buy some meth?"
They probably said no to that.
They won't
Did
do
anybody describe to anybody what a peace drinker is?
No.
Oh, all right.
I guess you want to be like, it's like hippie, one with nature, be peaceful.
Or you get drunk and go get yourself a piece. One of the,
Oh, yeah,
could be a whole
maybe.
bunch of things.
Oh, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
Most of the time when you think about going on a cruise ship, you think about sitting on the beach, sitting on those lounge chairs, watching the world go by. Well,
Little umbrella in your drink.
Yeah. Waking up in a different destination every morning.
Yeah.
A woman on a Norwegian cruise line ship got more exposure to the ocean than she intended. The 46-year-old fell off the back of the ship.
Well, she said she wanted to jump, so I gave her a push.
She was able to stay afloat for 10 hours.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
They finally realized she was missing, turned around, went to get her. 10 hours she was floating in the water.
That's a really long time. I don't know what like the world's record for staying afloat is, but it's not that long. It's surprisingly difficult. Plus the water, well, the water where she was might be warm.
Yeah, the water.
Sharks.
The Adriatic is warm. I was swimming yesterday in Lake Washington, and I was thinking that, you're treading water for a little while, and you think about those people and those stories of them needing to tread water for 2 days or something. No way. I'd be dead after half an hour.
Well, that's not good.
I could have actually just swum to Juanita Beach because I was pretty darn close.
Didn't you jump off a boat? Weren't you on a boat?
Yeah, I jumped off the boat.
Swim to the boat. That's
Swim
probably
to the
even
boat.
closer.
It's
But
right,
what if
right
they-
there next to you where you jumped.
What if they didn't know I had fallen off the back and they left
or
me?
if they knew and then they drove
They
away.
drove away anyway.
It'd be more like
they were
Or
one
I'd
of
be
us.
fine. Pop you in the head with it, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Wait, why just me?
Because you're nothing but trouble all day today. Haven't you noticed? Oh, my God.
No, I do think about those things, though. At one point, it's like an upstairs, downstairs deck of the boat, right? So everyone's hanging out.
So this is a little ski boat.
No,
like
this
I
is a
have
nice
in mine.
boat.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm up on the top of the boat.
Yeah, ski boats. A lot of people have spent their whole lives.
Friends with?
Oh, I know.
Lots of friends.
Yeah, but she's friends with Rick Jones.
Oh, Rick Jones!
Rick Jones, I'm on his boat. I'm jumping.
So I go downstairs to get a beer, and the boat picks up speed. I'm like, what if I just flew off the back? They wouldn't even notice I was gone.
Yeah, they'd have to get all the way back to shore before they started applauding.
News this morning brought to you by Johnson RV. Still a lot of show to come. Music news, entertainment, and sports all right around the corner. One of the big stories we're going to be talking about, Michael Jackson has had a piece of his history replaced. I'll explain.
The nose again?
And we'll have all the latest Seahawks and Mariners news next in sports. The best-selling album of all time.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
I think it's Thriller.
Well, you are correct.
Oh.
And you're incorrect.
Oh.
It
I do that all the time.
Was the best-selling album of all time.
Wow, what beat it?
As of today, it's official. The best-selling album of all time, The Eagles' Greatest Hits. 71 to 75 is now certified 38 times platinum. Sales and streams of that album have reached 38 million copies, pushing it past Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay, now, first of all, I want to go to bat for Michael Jackson. I know Michael Jackson. I don't know the Eagles, although I know their music. I know of them. So is this an American thing or a worldwide thing? 'Cause
Worldwide.
I thought he sold 57 million copies, and the next one was Frampton Comes Alive or some such thing.
Well, it is 38 times platinum, 38 million copies of the album, which came out in 1976. As I said, Michael Jackson's Thriller now goes to second place
Wow.
with 33 times platinum. Hotel California is now 26 times platinum, making it the third best-selling album of all time. So Thriller held the spot for a long time.
Yeah.
Until now.
Well, I don't know why I feel bad. First of all, the guy's dead, so he's not going to have his little heart broken. But I don't know. There was something about that Thriller album. It was, and by the way, because if you compare to the Eagles or Led Zeppelin or any other Beatles, no matter what, there was something people knew the dance. Everybody knows the words. People tried to moonwalk. It was just a big deal in my life. I spent one night in a place I thought was Hotel California. Turns out totally not true. I should have known. I was in Arizona.
The final resting place of Greg and Dwayne Allman, the founding Allman Brothers Band, bassist Barry Oakley, the three of them are buried in one place, and that place is now being expanded. Construction work is underway at the grave site in Rose Hill Cemetery, Macon, Georgia. They said, unfortunately, a couple more people being buried. They need to do some renovations, make it a little bit bigger. Now, they said there are plots next to them, and it looks like, his mom and the Allman Brothers drummer Butch Trucks will be buried there as well.
All right, I am so confused. They're all in a cemetery, not a plot. They're not like thrown in the same grave.
No. There are plots that have been saved next to them to put other people in, but they're making the cemetery itself bigger. Sir Rod Stewart has a new project which might raise some eyebrows. Sir Rod Stewart is going to be coming out with an album of duets, and he will be partnering with Bonnie Tyler, the lady who sings Total Eclipse of the Heart.
I got a question here.
Yeah.
Don't they have the exact same voice?
I thought maybe they were the same person.
So I'll take that as a yeah. That seems kind of, but it could be cool. Then also some Kim Carnes thrown in there too.
Yeah.
She does have a bit of a husky voice. You could sing as well.
I could sing?
Yeah. It seems like a very strange collaboration, but they are both British. They are both friends.
This is Rod Stewart right here.
Let's hear this. This is Rod Stewart?
No.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it. He sounds good in this song. His voice is higher than I remember.
Just a little bit.
And she sings Hot Legs. She sounds good when she does that. Yeah. A spokesperson for Aretha Franklin says that the family will be holding a 2-day public viewing of the legendary singer before her funeral at Greater Grace Temple in Detroit. The viewing is scheduled for the 28th and 29th of this month. She will lie in state from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, and then a private funeral for family members will take place at 10 a.m. on the 31st, and then she will be interned at Woodlawn Cemetery, where her father, noted civil rights activist Reverend C.L. Franklin, and other family members are buried.
Al Franken? I thought they kicked him out of the Senate for touching people.
He's still alive.
That's so weird. My goodness gracious. And when you say lay in state, does that mean people get to look at her?
Yes.
We looked at both the two. I've had two relatives that I am aware of at this moment. Because if somebody calls me up and said, you forgot Aunt Stinky Face, I'll feel bad. As far
How
as I'm
could you
concerned,
forget Aunt Stinky
my
Face?
grandfather and my aunt have passed away, and they're both open caskets. Didn't you mention that she was down like 75 pounds when she passed away?
She supposedly was
Who
down
wants
a lot.
Oh, man, let the lady have some privacy.
Yeah. I never get that. I remember being a pretty young person going to a wake for the first time, and I was freaked out. I'm like, why do I see that person? Yet I've gone to see Mao and Lenin, who are creepy, crazy-looking dead people for 50 years.
Crazy-looking dead people.
Yeah, like, why am I doing this?
Why are you doing
Why
that?
are you doing that?
You just can't stop
Because
yourself.
there was a line and you're like, I don't know what it is, but there's a line. I'm going to get in line.
It's like eating Lay's potato chips. You can't have just one. I had to go see Mao a couple of times.
Yeah, I got to find out who else I can go see. Oh, I'll take this next weekend off so I can go
I
to
go
Detroit.
I go see relics like the fingers of saints and things like
Yeah.
that. I go out of my way for that stuff.
Over the weekend, we had a lot of tumultuous weather. Fish had to cancel one of their big festivals because of inclement weather, and they didn't
Their
realize...
name is Fish. They can take some water.
Oklahoma.
Also could use some water.
A powerful rainstorm toppled entrances, and there was a Backstreet Boys concert about to start. People were standing in line waiting to get in.
God.
When this powerful storm blew in out of nowhere, 14 people were pretty significantly injured, taken to hospitals, and they eventually had to cancel the concert.
So the Backstreet Boys got blown out?
They did.
That's a drag. Is that the one with Lance Bass?
Yes.
Right.
I always get Backstreet Boys and NSYNC confused.
Yeah, so do they. I think if one of the NSYNC boys showed up in the Backstreet Boys, everybody'd go, oh, yeah, it's fine.
98 Degrees. We're also a part of that show.
Well, then why was it raining if it's 98 degrees? I'm confused by this whole story.
Lance Bass was in sync.
Okay, yeah, I get them confused.
Just gets them confused.
Yep.
As do I.
No, everybody does.
Matter of fact, if we all got them straight all the time, I would withdraw our rock and roll licenses.
Right. $22 million. Lance Bass is net worth. Yeah.
Bastard.
Not too bad.
Although I checked already when he bought that Brady Bunch house. But
No,
thank
that's
you for
right,
the
yeah.
update.
The actor Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of action movies.
Yeah, the same one over and over. For the most
No,
part.
because
That
one was
wanted
one
movie, he did 11 of those movies.
One was called Taken, and the
Right.
next one was called Taken
Taken, there we
2.
go.
Totally different movie from Taken 3.
But then he also did 3 or 4 other movies
are a very particular set of skills.
with the exact same plot line.
I've acquired over a very long career.
Yeah, like
skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
All right, then. We had that one.
We needed to hear that.
We did need to hear that. Are you kidding me?
Well, Liam Neeson, originally was doing serious roles. You remember Schindler's List?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got an Oscar nomination for that. And then, of course, he turned into the guy from Taken and Taken 2
Taken on an airplane.
and Taken 3.
Yeah. And then Snakes on a Bus.
Well, he said that he was going to stop doing the action roles
Yes, he
because
did.
he's in his 60s. Well, it looks like he does have a new movie coming out called Hard Powder. And his weapon this time, a snowplow.
So
I'll watch it.
he takes on crime by blowing their driveways?
Liam Neeson plays Nels Coxman, a nose-to-the-grindstone family man. Laura Dern is his wife. He is beloved by the residents of his Colorado resort town because he helps to keep the winter roads clear. And now his character has to go above the call of duty following the murder
He's
of
got
his
to clean
son
out the duty?
by a
Kind of truck is
ruthless
that?
drug lord.
Wait, his son gets murdered?
Yes, and that's when he seeks vengeance on a snowplow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
in.
Is that so he gets run over by a snowplow?
His son gets murdered by a drug cartel.
Oh.
And then he takes the drug cartel on
yeah.
a snowplow.
Yes.
And do you know what the movie Run All Night was, is starring him? Do you know what it was about?
No, I don't.
His son got killed and
Yeah.
he took revenge.
I don't think that's how that movie half went.
Yeah, 100% Run All Night. His son gets murdered and he goes and gets the bad guy who's played by the guy in all the space movies.
All right, then I must think of the last one he did where his son goes on the straight and narrow and his son doesn't want to be part of him. Then he drags his son along to go kill a whole lot of people and then he dies.
Huh.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
They're all essentially the
They're
same.
all the
movie.
same, just, yeah.
His
I
kid's
thought
in
for sure that
trouble.
was the same movie.
Only he can save him because he's got a particular set
That's
of skills.
particularly Run All Night. And his best friend, Liam Neeson's best friend, the other biggest gangster in that town. They're both gangsters.
Yeah.
So they have to
Yeah.
fight each other.
on a
It's the same
snowplow.
movie.
On a snowplow.
But his son is Joel Kinnaman.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an action movie. Who cares?
He has a particular set of skills. Renee Zellweger is back. She is
As what?
Well, she took a break from acting. She wasn't in a movie role for, I don't know, about 5 years.
Waiting for the scars to heal up?
She vehemently denies that she certainly raised eyebrows by looking completely different. She is now set to star in Netflix's 10-part social thriller called What If? It explores what happens when ordinary people do unacceptable things.
Well, they could have just called me.
She soon will be seen playing Judy Garland in a biopic, but this is a 10-part show for
She's going to play Judy Garland.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't see it.
She's not much younger than Judy Garland was when she died,
Right.
to be honest.
I guess it depends on what part of her life you're looking at.
The
So
end
might be
would
the
be my
end
guess,
for
yeah.
sure.
No.
At the box office over the weekend, The Meg took a big bite from the box office, but it wasn't enough to hold back Crazy Rich Asians. Number one at the box office.
I'm dying to see that, but only because Amy and I read the book together.
Yeah.
And the book's not that good, but I put in the effort of reading that book. I'm going to go see that
show
movie.
me the movie.
Yeah.
But you know what happens.
Yes, I do know what happens.
So at number
Turns
one.
out through the whole thing, they're
What?
Asian from beginning to end.
And they're rich.
And Liam Neeson is saving them all, right?
Because one of them got taken.
Crazy Rich Asians, number one at the box office, followed by The Meg. Mile 22, did not do so hot. Third place. Mission Impossible, fourth place. And Christopher Robin rounding out the top five. Another movie opened up this weekend in theaters, Billionaire Boys Club, and it brought in $126.
Now, it seems like a neat idea. What?
$126.
Was that the Kevin Spacey movie?
Yes.
So what-
$126.
Was it just in one theater?
Nope, it was in a couple.
Now, it's all ready for rent in my house, I think.
It was video on demand, and it opened in theaters. Oftentimes, they do it at the same time.
I didn't know because there's, when I'm scrolling past the pictures, Kevin Spacey is not in the pictures, and it makes me wonder every time. There was already a movie called Billionaires Boys Club with that Judd Hirsch.
Yeah, 80s movie. I remember
An
that.
80s movie. Is
Yeah.
it the same movie?
Nope. This is a brand new film.
No. Is it the same story? It's a true story.
I have no idea.
Oh.
$126. Let's take a look at
That's
sports.
crazy.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA, 1-800-DUI-OA. On Friday, the Dodgers beat the Mariners. Saturday, the Mariners beat the Dodgers. And yesterday, the Dodgers won 12-1.
That's not good.
Well, at least we got 1-1.
Yeah. Well, today they will turn it around playing the Astros. Safeco Field, Felix Hernandez versus Garrett Cole. First pitch, 7:10 on Root Sports. Go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
We've talked a bit about the minor league baseball teams and how they have some wacky theme nights that they do.
Sure.
Well, in St. Paul, the St. Paul Saints, they provided rain ponchos and decided to recreate a scene from the 1978 cult classic Animal House.
Oh, okay.
So they waited for the cue. They looked to John Belushi's character, John Bludarski, where he says... They had a massive
food fight.
Massive food fight. 8,000 people participated and had a food fight.
Wait, can you play that again? I don't know what he said. Oh! Food fight. It does sound like a dude fight or anything else. I've seen the movie 1,000 times, so I knew it said food fight. But yeah, it does sound like it could say something else.
Fans were given stacks of mashed potatoes, marshmallows, popcorn, and powdered donuts, all provided to them for free, and they had a massive food fight.
Huh, who do I punch in the face first? The guy that throws goo in my face while I'm trying to watch a baseball game, or the guy that gave the guy the goo to throw at me? Whatever it is, I hate it. Are you that friendly, Paul? If guys, would you get involved in all that?
No, I don't think I would enjoy a food fight while I'm trying to watch a baseball
I
game.
don't think so. You got your kid with you, she takes one to the head, you're going to be mad as hell.
And over the weekend, the Seattle Seahawks played the LA Chargers. The Chargers won 24-14. Next in preseason, Seahawks versus the Vikings, 5 o'clock kickoff on Friday. The Seahawks added veteran linebacker Eric Walden on Friday and terminated the contract of defensive end Marcus Smith. There's a new commercial circulating. Some of you might see it as a Reebok commercial, and it's starring J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt?
Hard not to love J.J. Watt.
Yes,
In fact,
it is.
Don't know anybody who doesn't like J.J. Watt.
I love J.J. Watt. You love J.J. Watt?
Oh,
Yeah, we all love
absolutely.
J.J. Watt.
This commercial is not for the faint of heart because it shows his massive leg scar. Now, you remember he broke his leg and missed almost all of last season. This is about 8 inches long. It goes from thigh across his knee. You see where the staples were.
Yeah.
You can see where the suture marks are. It is gnarly. The ad, however, 60 seconds, very powerful. It's all about not giving up and hard work. And even though something knocks you down, you can still fight through it. And it's all about him coming back from his injury.
That's lovely.
Very, very powerful ad that you can see online now.
I have almost the exact same scar. My best scar looks exactly like that. It's just people look at it and go, oh, they think, oh, well, just look at that scar on my, because I have scars all over me. And then you show this one with the staple, because the staple marks are huge, man, and they just look gross.
You tell people shark attack?
No, here, I'll show it to you while you guys talk amongst yourselves. There's no missing.
Yeah, I've seen it from a distance. I've never seen it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those could be shark teeth.
Yeah, okay, yeah. God darn you, Paul, you wrecked it. All right, you guys, I was bitten by a shark. I wasn't going to tell you.
The Sounders defeated the Galaxy 5-0, their 6th straight win. Up next for them, the Sounders and the Portland Timbers. Sunday match time is 6:30. Yesterday, top-seeded Seattle Storm beat the Dallas Wings. That was their regular season finale.
Playoffs.
Wings.
That's next. And Shaquille O'Neal, a little bit mad at somebody. We're trying to figure out exactly who he's mad at. He's got an apparel company that has his name. Only his last name is spelled wrong.
Oh, he's mad at somebody.
It's spelled with an I instead of an A, O'Neal. And somebody spelled it.
How do you spell it?
He spells it with an A.
Yeah, I get that, but I can't spell. So what other letters are in there?
O-N-E-A-L?
O-N-E-A-L is how he spells it, but on his website, all of his merch is O-N-E-I-L.
Oh, I'd be so mad. I'd be really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's fired for sure.
One time in Los Angeles, I was doing radio with a show with a girl named Jamie, the Jamie and Danny show, and we got to be number one, and my boss hired a plane to fly over holding a thing, congratulations, Jamie and Danny, except Danny was spelled D-A-N-N-I.
Oh.
And I started to yell at the guy, and he goes, hey, I was just trying to do you a good thing. I said, you're my boss. You should have made that right. You should have checked spelling. Oh, so mad.
We know that Tiger Woods came very close to winning an Open last weekend.
I love that this guy makes huge news for not winning, but not winning by a little less than last time.
It was his highest score ever at a major.
Still he still didn't win.
Yeah.
Well, according to his caddy at the Open Championship and last weekend's PGA Championship, they said somebody was heckling Tiger Woods, nonstop heckling during one of the rounds at the WGC Bridgestone Invitational. He's actually became disruptive, was really starting to bother Tiger. So according to his caddy, he went over and said, hey, listen, bud, why you got to go there? Everyone's having a good time. Everybody's pulling.
Who's this, the caddy or Tiger?
Caddy.
Okay.
Goes over to the dude. Why you got to go there? Everyone's having a good time. Everybody's pulling for Tiger. Please stop yelling at my guy. Stop screaming all this negative stuff. He goes, I paid $25 to get in here. Why don't you just give me my money back? So his caddy opens his wallet, pulls out $25 and said, see you later. The dude took the $25 and left.
Oh, the guy left.
Yeah. I thought he'd take it then not leave and yell louder. Yeah.
He left.
But then Tiger didn't get any better.
Nobody came in second, and they are considering that a win. A victory.
Okay, I got to tell you.
They count wrong.
Yeah, they count wrong. That's the everybody gets a trophy win. He didn't win. He did, you know what? The opposite of win. He lost, but by less than the guy that came in third.
True.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. I know that Tito's is fantastic. I know that Tori and Derek are fantastic.
Oh, that's what I think when I think of those two. I think fantastic.
Tell us where you guys are going to be tomorrow, Derek.
We are going to be at Henry's Tavern across the street from Safeco Field before the ball game, 5 to 7 p.m. Tori, what are we doing there?
We're hanging out, and we're going to be giving away station giveaways, and we'll have drink specials, all for Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Yeah, that's why I had my birthday one year, and it was the best crowd we've ever had in the sense of amount of people. It was great. That's a great place, you guys.
And you played cornhole.
Yes, I did for the first time, as far as you know, once in college. Oh, wait, I didn't go to college. I must have not done it.
We had a great show today. Thanks to all you guys listening and contributing, and the fun and hilarity will return tomorrow.
All right,
No promises.
Here's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards if I had to cornhole just once, I'd throw my bag and hope I got the highest score, because I'm not doing that one. Let's talk about somebody winning. Tiger Woods did not win. You know who wins every single day?
Who's that?
Steve Slayton. That's who wins every single day. And he's going to walk in here and he's going to continue winning. And he's going to play a whole mess of classic rock and roll for your listening pleasure. So we'll get out of his way. Bye.